Gone. Done.
Nailed
it.
It's broke.
First time.
It's
First
broke,
time,
Toretto.
guys.
We got this.
Take 4 of now recording. Yeah.
Hello.
Foxy's defective program. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Hello and welcome back to the Minecraft Update podcast. It is episode 28. I am, as usual, joined by Jessiie and Slack. My name's FoxyNoTail. And last week we had some amazing audio due to the new plugins. However, it took me twice as long to edit the podcast because everything broke at my end. The audio was perfect, though. So well done, guys. Thank you for that. How are you getting on with Crisp this week, Slack?
Well, I love it, but apparently when, this week with Audacity and OBS, just until like 5 minutes ago, it's broken now, but I love it. It's well worth the investment, even though it's defective right now.
No, it's good. What? Have you gone wrong as well?
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, no. Okay. Whew. For a second there, Audacity was not registering any wavelengths. And I was like, I definitely laughed. I laughed. There was something there. No, okay. We're back. It's fine.
I did notice that occasionally Crisp will disappear some things that aren't noise, like some laughing and talking. Well, not talking. It's pretty good at that, but I noticed a couple of your laughs got wiped out last week. But
it just doesn't like me giggling. It's like, okay, enough.
Yeah,
let's just insert awkward silence here. Oh, okay, thanks.
Right, and I want to say to you guys, because I felt guilty that I'd forced you both to spend $60 a year each for this plugin. So I spent some money last week as well to make the podcast even better, right? I spent $30 as a one-off payment, not an annual one, on something called D-Breath plugin, which is made by Waves. I used to have it, but I've lost it, so I bought it again, and that just takes out all of those little in-between breath things, so I don't have to do as much cutting, and it's wonderful. I love it. So, yeah, podcast
we're
leveled up.
Where was that plug-in when I smoked like 3 packs a day? I'm just asking for a friend. God.
They've got a sale on at the minute, Slack. You can run it through Discord live as well, so you can. It's all good.
Look. I am 11 months with no cigarette. I'm good. Don't give me a reason.
Don't give me a reason. Right. Okay. That's enough of all of that jargon. Jessiie, what have you been up to this week?
Oh. Well, let's start with the positive. This week, I have been streaming like nobody's business. Until today, I was on a 6-day streak of either streaming on Twitch or Discord. I just kind of went ham. I was addicted. It was a thing. I'm so into it. I'm excited. I'm happy. Love life. And the one thing with that is yesterday on stream, somebody went onto my wish list and bought the webcam.
No way.
So as soon as that gets here, guess who's doing a face cam stream?
Slack.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, I get a new camera. What camera am I getting?
You're gonna get that.
So you've got a wish list set up, have you?
I do.
It's a public one, is it?
Yep. It's on Throne. Lee actually sent me an invite to it because you can invite people and it's something that you can't get on unless you have an invite kind of thing.
Yeah, Draft sent me that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Please tell me, what is Throne?
So Throne is a wish list kind of, I don't want to say it's an app, like it's a website where you can add things from Amazon, from Etsy, and it will keep your address. So it orders it for you. And it's this weird thing. So the public can't see your address, basically. And it's amazing because that was my biggest issue with Amazon wish lists is they see a lot of your personal information. And I don't have things set up as like an LLC. I don't have a PO box. Like it just comes to my house. And so I never had one. Even though people had been asking me to make one, especially for the kids, like birthdays and stuff, they're like, do something. And I'm like, no. So when Lee invited me to this, I took a look at it. By the way, not sponsored by Throne. Like,
Crisp or Waves Audio.
Yeah, exactly. So,
If you would like to talk to us about sponsorship, though, you can email us at
the news of the Minecraft update podcast, whatever it is, can't remember, something like that.
Yeah, basically. So it's brilliant. So far, I have received like 6 items, and it all has come effortlessly. Like they don't overcharge. Like basically, they just charge the for the shipping and the item itself, and it's been great. It's been really cool. I'm super into it, and it's been fun.
Is that an American only thing then, or is that available outside of the US?
Most people who use it, I think, are actually Australian. So yeah, it's for anyone.
Cool. Well, I set up a wish list last year because my parents were always like, we don't know what to get for your birthday. So I just went on Amazon, found a load of things, and I was like, there you go, here's a link. And that worked out really well. They was like, oh, they're all too expensive. You can't have any of them. Well, I was like, yeah, but at least you know what I want.
Okay, hold on. The best thing about Throne, sorry, again, not sponsored, is you can set it to contribute. So like if you have a high expense item, like for right now, I think I have a desk on there, which is like $200 something, but I've set it to contribute. So anyone can say, okay, well, I'm going to put $5 towards this. I'm going to put $10 towards this. And so it keeps it for you. So that no one has to spend an exorbitant amount of money on one thing. And that to me has been so cool because I feel guilty.
How long does that last for that they're holding that money for though, right? Because if someone's like, you get $100 on there, but no one else does, and it, maybe the desks that don't offer it for sale anymore, how does that all work? Do you get a voucher for something else?
So what ends up happening, if like the item isn't for sale anymore, is that money then is like pulled into Throne, and you can put it towards anything else. So, yeah. So like if the desk goes off, I can add a new desk and then put that total into the new desk.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds really good. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And so, yeah, super excited for the face cam. That's great. So that's all like the super positive vibes that's going on with me this week. The one kind of not sure about thing is I am so lost when it comes to YouTube right now. I have been struggle bugging like nobody's business to make a single video. And I don't know what to do with that. Like, that's something that I'm not used to. I always have all of these ideas, and like I have notebooks full of stuff that I want to do. And right now with my TB base, everything left to do is details. Like I have houses that I could build, interiors that I could build. It's just a detail. I have terraforming to do. All of that stuff is stream stuff to me. Like that isn't anything I would make a video on. And so I am stuck, which is not a great place to be when you're, trying to make content. So yeah,
it is a problem, isn't it? And I see this happening, more than just you. It's certainly been happening to me. And what I'm going to attribute it to is that streaming's so easy. It's so easy. It's fun. It's so much more rewarding instantly than making YouTube videos, which makes YouTube videos seem hard. The problem is you can't just be a streamer unless you're just one of these people that's just uber charisma, just takes off, maybe gets in part with the right group. So you've got to back up your streams. You've got to bring content to your streams from your videos, which then becomes a chore. It becomes a job. It becomes, it is your job. It's my job. It's Slack's job. But when there's an easy option that's maybe not quite as lucrative, but it's more fun and you're enjoying it more, it's very difficult to take yourself to work, to put your shirt and tie on and walk out the door with your briefcase and go and do the things that you don't really want to do, because you can have fun and convince yourself it's good enough. And that's where I've been for a long time, and it's ridiculous because I've always made videos. I enjoy making videos, but videos has become not hard work, but it's become that chore that if I can do this instead of making a video and smile and have a good time and feel good about myself instead. And yeah, so the other thing I want to attribute all this to, and maybe you feel differently, and obviously this is a good point for conversation, is that it's getting harder and harder and harder to make Minecraft videos because the bar keeps getting set higher and higher and higher. And the more great building you do and the more bigger builds you do and the more detailing you've got to do is just that list on the to-do. You've got two lists. You've got all the exciting things you want to do, and then you've got that other list, which is finishing off those things that you've started. And that list gets longer and longer and longer, and the other one doesn't seem to get any shorter. And I think Minecraft as a whole will probably have some sort of breaking point at some point where, and in fact, maybe it's already going through that, where content creators that have been putting out Let's Plays, been making videos, been doing big builds, been doing big redstone contraptions are going, I can't keep up. I can't compete. I can't spend a whole week doing this video and get nothing back from it. What's the alternative? And then you end up with things like a hardcore series, or start playing mini games, or I'm going to download stuff from the Minecraft marketplace and play that content. And I think that's probably a lull that a lot of people are going through. And I think I hope it will sort of reset itself, and people will hopefully start setting the bars a little bit lower for themselves. And it should also hopefully help desaturate how much Minecraft content there is out there, and you know, allow the audience a bit of breathing space as well, so people can go, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to start watching some YouTube Minecraft videos again. Look, this guy's doing stuff. And yeah, I'm hoping anyway. I think we're at the peak of where it was at, or we've just gone past the peak of where it's at, and I think we're on a little bit of a decline before it sort of levels off and picks back up. That's my personal thoughts and theory. What do you guys think to that?
I think a great example of that is actually Mumbo Jumbo. I mean, he put out a tweet not too long ago saying he had done too much. He was like, he was worrying more about how do I top what I was doing? How do I keep doing this? And it just killed it for him. So he had to take a break. And even now, like he's just not around because he had raised the bar too high that it wasn't as enjoyable anymore. And I think that that's a great example of it not just being the little guys. Like it's everyone right now. Everyone is feeling this pressure. And not to say like hermitcraft is the end all be all, but I've noticed that with a lot of hermits as well. Just in general, it just very much feels right now like people don't know what to do because they have done so much.
Yeah. How many times can you rewrite the same book and make it interesting? It's a very difficult thing to do. You need to put that book down and come up with a new book, which is not necessarily has to be something other than Minecraft, but a completely different story, a different way of playing, a different way to engage the audience. And I think that was what everyone's like hoping for and searching for, and streaming seems to be filling that void, I think.
Yeah, I think that streaming is killing the YouTuber. Like video killed the radio star is how they like to say it. Streaming is kind of killing the YouTuber. Well, let's look at this, okay? We all started off this as fun. For one reason or another, we all started this off as fun. Somewhere along the line, some of us, it switched and it become a full-time job that helps pay the bills. And here's where you get that big difference that can make a difference, too. Like, okay, so you do this video, you put 70 hours a week into this video, you put this video out, it gets 10 of 10, it gets 300 views in the first day, it gets no comments, and a week later you've made $7 off that video. Okay. It's the honest truth. It's the truth though, and all of you all know it.
Close to home, it hurts.
Yeah, and then you go live on Twitch on a day you didn't feel like streaming. You don't care. You're just there to hang out with the people because you need to vent, and you make $500, and you're like, what? Why?
No, you make $500.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No one else does. You do.
But you get what I'm saying. Okay, well, say you stream, okay, and say you make $20 off that 2-hour stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Say you have 3 or 4 people resub. You just made more off of that stream in 2 hours than you made off of 70 hours of work to put out a video on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And you got instant gratification, instant people talking to you, instant feedback. And you're just like, for that video, you're like, I put in all this time for nobody to even say a word.
At this particular moment in time, I'm earning pretty much the same amount on streaming, which I'm only doing about 15 hours a week at most, month, sorry. As I am videos, which I know I've had a lull on videos, but you know they're not doing great. So I think it's about £300 or $300 a month per platform. And yeah, like you say, I put like this video I did today. I spent 3 full days sat in front of the computer making this little 5-minute storyline video. And I wanted to do a full video, but I just run out of time. I need to get a video out. And that's made, it obviously only went out today, but I know next week that will have probably made around $10, maybe $15. Whereas like I get the same from one stream. I mean, sometimes I get more than that on the stream. Sometimes I normally get sort of $15, $20 minimum on a stream. So it is a huge difference, but it's so difficult to grow as a streamer. It's difficult to grow on YouTube, but your audience is, even if you're a small channel, generally on the uprise. Whereas on streaming, you get more and more followers. Every time you get raided, you get followers, but your stream numbers don't generally tend to go up. Your averages don't seem to move all that much. So you still need a way to bring people in.
Well, here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing. You get sick and you can't stream. You're not making no money.
Yeah.
YouTube will still make you money even when you're not live.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my baseline number of views per 48 hours is 7,000 views, just based off all my old content. So I get a guaranteed 7 to 10,000 views per 48 hours. But that still only equates to £300 a month. So
yeah. Well, yeah, like mine only averages about 1,500 at a decent day. It can go up to 2K, but yeah. And that's only about a couple $100 for me, you know? So yeah.
I love you guys.
We're all the good thing here is that we've got different levels, so we got different, but we're still feeling the same thing, you know.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those interesting things where it's obviously because like I'm like I'm the baby channel, and then you have Slack is the middle channel, and then you have Foxy, and it's like you see the same peaks, the same rises, the same falls, and it's good, I guess, to know that it's just like YouTube. It's not specifically you.
Yeah, it's great to know that it doesn't get any better.
Well, it's like you saying you've been burned out on YouTube. I have for last month, but we were talking about that in the back Discord. You know, we all got a push except for Foxy. Poor Foxy never gets a push from YouTube. But like most of us in TB got a push there for no reason. We put out a video about 16 hours into it. YouTube's like, here, let me just throw all the impressions of the world at you for like a month. All of our videos got pushed. So like every video you put out was like 1 out of 10, 2,000 to 3,000 views more than normal for me. And then they stopped. So every video you put out since then is like, 10 for 10. Oh, your last video at this time had 1,200 views. Let's give you 200 on this one. Yeah. Let's just punch you in the gut. Oh, you want to do another video? Oh, yeah, let's not push this to your audience. Let's have half the people in your Discord go, I didn't know you put out a video. And it gets 200 views, and you're just like, really? And then YouTube's just standing over you with a whip, just wha-pow, 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 shame, shame, shame. And literally, it's like, maybe you should consider doing more different types of content that your people like. I'm like, they liked this a week ago.
So what have you been up to this week, Slack?
Streaming.
Yeah. Oh,
hardcore, yes. TB, no. I'm gonna say it. I'm struggling with bedrock. Bedrock? Yeah, bedrock at the moment. I'm struggling with it. Like this hardcore series that we've went on to do. I'm having more fun on Java than I've had on Bedrock in a while.
Yeah.
I think this still comes down to what I was saying there. We're all looking for a shake-up. We're all looking for something that's not the same old, same old. We need something to allow us to feel like we're doing work that doesn't feel like work. And that's the void that Java's filling at the moment. I feel exactly the same. I love Bedrock Edition. I still think I prefer it as a whole to Java Edition, but just playing on this hardcore server with Mitts is just the best fun I've had in such a long time, and I would much rather spend all day doing that than sitting there making Truly Bedrock videos. And that doesn't mean Truly Bedrock's dead or Truly Bedrock's gone away or anything like that. It's just I don't know. I think
fresh change, fresh breath.
Yeah, and normally we would go, oh, well, if this is the feeling, we'd do a server reset, we'll start a new season, but I don't think that would do anything at this particular moment. I don't think it would help, no. I mean, I feel like this has been, for me personally, coming since sort of season 3, I was starting to feel this, I need to do other things to fill my creativity meter and feel like I'm getting stuff done. And I haven't quite got out of that yet. I feel like I'm doing it now. I feel like I'm actually enjoying making TV content, but I'm still farting about making cinematics than I am actually in the game doing anything. So, yeah. But I kind of feel at the back of my mind I'm there, but I'm ready to jump back in. So I think I was probably just early. Hopefully you guys will be feeling the same too.
Yeah, and like I'm starting to get a little bit more creative flow. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing that's helped is I've decided that I've been taking Wednesdays 100% no Minecraft. I refuse to load it. Like yesterday, I wanted to stream Minecraft, but I know that I need to have an off day away from the game completely, or else I'll never have one. And then I'll begrudge myself for not having one, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, time does disappear when you just put all of it into something. And sometimes you're having a good time and you don't realize, but then you look back and go, where did that, I know we all say it, where did that year go? Where did that month go? Where did that week go? But it's, you know, we're pushing an age now and you're looking back going, where did those years go? What have I done with it? What have I done with my family? What have I done with my friends? And there's less and less and less and more and more of this. So I think that's probably, maybe it's midlife crisis time we're all just facing. Should we just get back to
it's world crisis?
With the price of fuel at the minute, we could all get a soft top age. It'd be fine. Jeez. Okay, so for me this week, as I've already said, spent 3 days making a 5-minute episode.
5 minutes? Ooh. Why does 20 to 30 minutes have to be the norm?
Well, I wanted it to be 20 to 30 minutes. I just haven't had chance to do the other 15 minutes yet because believe it or not, it took me from 8 o'clock Monday morning. No, was it Monday? It might have been Tuesday. I can't remember, whatever day it was. It took me from that until the early afternoon just to get it was 6 different Minecraft accounts in the same game to record something. And that wasn't me having problems with Bedrock Edition this time. It wasn't me having skin issues or anything like that. It was me having to update Android on an old phone. It was me having to reinstall Minecraft on an iPad. It was me realizing that my computer, I'd ripped the hard drive out to put into Jack's computer, so I had to reinstall Windows on another computer. And that, when it installed, for some reason, the Microsoft Store just didn't work at all. So I had to reinstall it again to get Microsoft Store to work so I could install Minecraft. And it literally just took me, 8 hours just to get all 6 accounts in the same game. And then I'm like, how am I going to control them all? I've got one keyboard and mouse that can control 3 different PCs at once. But what am I going to do for the other ones? So then I'm raiding the kids' drawers for their Xbox controllers and trying to sync them up. And everything synced fine. But one of the Bluetooth dongles was, for whatever reason, just going, I'm going to connect now. Now I'm not. Now I'm going to connect. So that's just infuriating. So then I had to hardwire that one to make it work. And then it decided it was, it was a nightmare. So I got literally 30 seconds worth of footage with all my characters on a blue screen recorded that day. And the next day I had to do all of the other stuff to fill in the content for everything else. So, but yeah, don't do storyline stuff. Don't do it.
It's always you. Why does this always happen to you? I feel like if there is a computer problem that can happen, it will happen to Foxy at some point in time.
It's like if there's a one wide hole to the bottom of the world, I will fall down it. Even if it's in a different county, in a different dimension, I'll find it and I'll fall down it.
It's amazing.
I don't know. Again, this comes back to trying to one-up yourself on the last one. I don't need to have 4 characters and 2 cameras for a story. I could probably make and write an entertaining story with just 2 characters or 1 character. But I feel like those characters, everyone wants to see them, and I haven't done story in a long time. And I'm sat in bed thinking, oh, that would be really funny if I did this, or that would be really cool if I do that. Like in the next part of it, I've got some really interesting stuff I want to do, but I know it's going to be a headache and a nightmare. So I'm thinking, is there a way I can divert all of the characters off into their own little bit and then like cut the video from 3 different perspectives and cut in and out rather than trying to get them all on screen at once? And I know people offer to like control the characters for me, but when I'm just making it up as I go along with the script, how can I expect anybody to be nodding the head of a character at the right time and having the right expression with the character when I'm just totally winging it? So, yeah, I don't know. Jeez.
And as somebody who's done a few storyline episodes with him, when he gets frustrated, I love you, Slack, but shut up, please. Shut up. I need to think.
No, I would never.
Trust me.
I would never.
Oh, I've got recordings. Recordings.
Yeah, well, that's only when I'm thinking, and because no offense, Slack, but this is one of the reasons why I invited you to the podcast is you're good at talking, and sometimes you talk at the wrong time. And when things are going wrong, it's difficult to concentrate when you got someone telling you about all of the different wires they've got plugged into the computer and the screen behind them's upside down. I don't know. Jeez, you've had a lot of computer problems as well.
It's okay, Toretto. I love you, buddy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so that's what we've been doing this week. It's been a good week. I would say I've had a good week this week. Would you guys say you've had a good week, generally speaking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good, which leads us into the feedback. So let's hope all of the feedback is good. And before I get into the feedback, I am just going to say that the last piece of feedback that I've actually I've given myself, I'm not going to read it, because if you guys look at the form, it is not 3, it's 4 A4 pages long. And basically, someone pointed out after I released the podcast last week that I'm an idiot. And I agree with them. When we read the news last week and we were talking about the way servers now load chunks around the player and the client takes over certain things, I read it correctly. I read the whatever it's called, the changelog correctly, but then failed to actually realize what I just said. So I did realize this when I edited it. I was like, I've just said that, but then we're talking about something different. And then somebody went into huge capped cracks, went into huge detail about how it actually works and and why I was wrong. And I agree with them because I'd already sort of semi-figured most of that out. So I just want to, it's not part of the feedback, but I thought I'd bring it up now quickly. We said that the area around a player is loaded by the client and the server's doing everything in the distance. It's the other way around. The ticking area, the simulation distance around each player is loaded by the server, and it's the render distance, the rest of it, the render distance that is loaded by the client computer, which does beg the question, well, if I'm looking into the distance and I can see Jessie's base and she's building at it and it's in my render distance, am I going to see the changes of what Jessie's doing? Because that's going to be loaded on the server in Jessie's perspective. Is it going to send it to me? Or if we're just out and about, like let's say me and Slack are walking through the world and in our render distances, I see a creeper or something in the distance. Is Slack going to see that as well? Because technically my client has loaded it. So I do still have some questions about that, but I'm not as worried as I was about things going wrong like we discussed. So yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
I get that change, and it's very interesting. But that kind of reminds me of like occlusion off of 7 days, which is like you got default POIs, okay, points of interest, buildings or whatever. So from a distance, it'll look like say this is Bob's house over here. I'm just using something arbitrary. Bob's house, you know what Bob's house looks like. You've seen Bob's house 100 times. But as you get closer to it, once you load it as a player, somebody may have moved in Bob's house and changed it, and all of a sudden the whole thing changes. You're like, whoa, because you loaded it. But when you get back away from it from a distance, Bob's house looks like Bob's house again. Interesting.
Yeah, so we might see some stuff like that, but I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'm wondering if it's like more of a... If it's chunks that have never been loaded before, then obviously your client's going to do it. But if it tries to load one that the server has, like data for, maybe it will send that data. Because otherwise, you could be walking around and just not seeing anyone's bases in the distance, even if you've got your render distance set to full, which would just be weird. So I'm pretty sure that's how it must work. If anybody's interested in the 4-page essay that CapTrax sent, then you can find that on the Discord. They wrote it in the feedback section, which was absolutely fantastic. I'd love to read it all out, but I would literally be here a week and I'd make a massive mess of it. So if you want to read that, check out the Discord because it was very interesting information. Right, now on to the actual feedback. Cucumbers is starting with hello, Foxy, Jelly and Sack. I too looked at the 1.19.20.20/21 preview changelog and saw 2 new commands having to do with item tags, can break, can place, lock in slot, etc. However, after the last after the last podcast, I looked at the changelog and they were gone, like you said. However, after a little bit of research, I found that the commands are still on the MC Bedrock changelog. MC Bedrock makes a new changelog for each preview, which is the same as the one on the feedback website. I found that the note for the commands was still there. Here is the link, and they've given us a link, which I'll put in the thingy if I remember. It says, keep in mind, it might have disappeared by the time you record. Thanks for the pod. So why did they put commands in the changelog and then steal them, Slack?
I don't know. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would they do that?
I don't know. It's bizarre. So I'm just very quickly flicking through this link now to see if I can see them. But audio,
gameplay, VR.
I'm not seeing them in there either. Well, maybe I've flicked through it too quickly.
There it is. Commands. It's under technical updates.
There we go. So they've added tags from item and items with tag command, which output the tags associated with an item and vice versa. So, yeah, that's bizarre that they've... I haven't tried to use those commands in game, but why would they remove those from a changelog? Very strange. Very strange. Jessiie, why?
I just I don't know. What? Why do they do anything? I don't know. Technical stuff, not my area. So I will just go.
Jessiie went pure villager in that moment.
I'm assuming that wasn't information that we were supposed to have. Maybe it was a dev note or something like that, or maybe they've pulled it in from somewhere else. I'd be really interested to actually see if those commands do exist in that version. But yeah, very interesting. But you got it anyway. You got the news. It's a week late, but you got the news. Jessiie, what's Sam I Am got to say?
Sam I Am says hardcore mode. I think the current work to add spectator mode could be a precursor to adding hardcore mode. If you think about it, then hardcore mode really needs spectator mode. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Fingers crossed. Haven't they basically said, yeah?
We've got some feedback from Rotated Alface, who did drop us an image in the Discord of Corner Hard saying that the hardcore mode is in the parity list, but not sure when it'll come. So, yeah, I think it's definitely on the list.
Good deal. Zeta here. It would be really handy if the link to this feedback form was listed in the links section of the Minecraft Update Podcast Discord. Foxy, is it not there?
Well, there's a little. We've only got one page on the website. There's a big logo. Below that, there's in bold feedback. Leave us feedback or a question via the online form here and a link, and then just other links to where you can listen to the podcast. So I don't see the point in having the feedback form another 2 inches down on the site and put it in twice. I made it separate and stand out for a reason. It's even got lines around it to make it pop out in your face so you can see it. Jeez. I'm sorry, Zeta. I'm doing it all wrong. I'm sorry. We haven't got to it yet, but I'm in trouble again about the website later in the feedback.
Oh, now you're going to have to make a Twitter account. Yep, there you go.
Oh, jeez. Right, Turtle Brian says, thank you for making a great podcast to listen to on the way to school. Love the witty humour and well-reasoned discussions. I thought I'd mention that there's a new Switch trailer for Minecraft Legends with more gameplay that I think you could unpack. Have either of you watched it? Have you seen it?
Negative.
I haven't, actually.
Okay, well, I will save you the bother. It does have more gameplay in it, but it's not talked over. It was just an advert for it that was on the Nintendo Switch Direct as part of the Summer Games Fest sort of thing that was going on last week. I've got to admit, when I watched it, it didn't really give me anything that the original didn't, and I don't feel anything towards this game. I don't feel they've done a very good job of selling what it is, how it works, and why it's a good thing to have. I look at it and I just think there's a lot going on there. It's not very pretty to look at. I'm very confused at what I'm seeing, and I'm not interested. So I need somebody. I need one of those videos that looks like, hey, this is how the game works. This is what you do, and explain it to me, because this feels very much like it's made for people that already totally understand that style of game, and I don't.
Can't get hyped for it till I know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea. Is like you and the villagers are protecting the world against like piglins coming through the nether, but I don't understand how the game works. I don't understand what you do and how it works. So have either of you got any ideas?
No, to be honest, no.
When I looked at the gameplay, sorry, I just kind of put it up and was watching it off to the side. I don't get it. So I would have to, maybe they'll do like a live playthrough at some point, like beforehand, and I'll get to see what's going on. But yeah, for now, I have no idea. I don't get it.
No. It's weird, isn't it? Because Microsoft / Mojang, a big company, they're smart people, but this really does feel like an indie dev like team that have got really excited about something they've done and like shown people all the things they're excited about, but without giving any context, without explaining. Like it's like saying to somebody, I've made a Gizmo Raider and it's the best thing you've ever had and you'll love it and you should get one. And you're like, well, what is it? What's it do? I don't know, just get one. It's ace. Look how shiny it is. What can you do with that information? Nothing. Stupid. Moving on.
Indeed.
Put it in the bad ideas bin. Jeez.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my goodness. So Victim Born says, I was stunned to hear Mr. Lizard say Windows 11 only lets you play games online. Many times I find myself without internet while traveling and playing offline. So glad I never updated to Windows 11 with the constant bombardment of props to do so. Wait, what?
I don't think it is. I was talking about how a lot of things are going that way. Maybe I said something wrong in the podcast.
I don't remember you saying that either. I think the wires crossed on that one. Sorry, Jessiie, go on.
No, I was just confused because I know I missed like the last half of last week. So I was like, did something happen that I wasn't aware of? So yeah, if that's not the case, I'm glad.
No, I think fortunately for you there, Victim, there's some cross communication going on. Perhaps you've skipped ahead in the podcast, or perhaps you were only listening through one ear. I don't know, but yeah, Windows 11 is no different from Windows 10. I think Slack was just literally, like he just said, referring to the fact that a lot of games, a lot of services are going to online only. Like when the Xbox One first came out, they were like, this is only going to work if it's online, and there was massive outrage, huge backlash. And obviously they came back from that, and they've never gone back there since. But we've now got so many subscription services, like not just games, but TV and stuff as well, that obviously need the internet because that's how you get the information from there. And there's quite a few bits of software now that have to regularly authenticate, like the Adobe Creative Cloud has to regularly authenticate that you own it through the web. So if you don't use it, it pops up and it's like, hey, we need to connect to the internet. And I think it's just the way a lot of things are going, but it's not set in stone yet.
Oh, yeah, well, it's like, just as a prime example, this month we finally cut the satellite and we went to YouTube TV as a household, because there's some people in the household that still watch specific things, but like, why are we paying $170 a month for satellite when we can get everything from YouTube TV?
I'm really sorry. What's YouTube TV?
That's literally what it sounds like. YouTube TV, you can get pretty much all your stations out there. It's kind of like, I guess, Hulu Live or something like that. But
we don't have those in the UK.
Yeah, they have different. You guys have very different broadcasting laws, I think, than we do. So I don't think that you guys have that option there.
We've got Disney Plus, we've got Amazon Prime Video, we've got Netflix, we've just got Paramount
TV, right?
Plus.
No, these are live networks.
these
like
are
if you
live.
went into your thing and TV and turned it on right now to watch your local news or like TBS or TNT live TV programmings.
Right, we've got 2 options for that. Well, 3 options technically. We've got Sky TV, which comes through satellite dish. We've got Virgin Media, which comes through fiber, and we've got terrestrial TV, which you can get for like Freeview on, which has got a bunch of channels, but it's nothing like. I mean, you guys have got hundreds of channels. I think Sky's got loads of channels, but it's nothing compared to the US, I don't think. But having not had any sort of live TV in my house for getting on for 3 years now, I think I'm totally out of the loop on all of that stuff. So I didn't know YouTube TV was a thing.
Yeah. With YouTube TV, you also get YouTube Music, which means you can listen to music on YouTube, like on your phone, and like actually go off the YouTube window and stuff like that. There's like a whole backbone to YouTube with the music that I didn't know, that I was really shocked to find out. Like when I loaded up YouTube Music, you know how every now and again you're on YouTube and you're listening to music and it's like, oh, we recommend this playlist to you, or this one or that one. The YouTube Music has like, it's got like all kinds of stuff catered to you based on your like history before. It's like, would you like music that's energizing today or depressing or this or that or this or that? It's really
so basically
in-depth.
Spotify, but through YouTube.
Yeah. And you get live TV as well with no commercials. Yep.
Well, I was aware of YouTube Music existing, and I'm aware of YouTube Movies, but I had no idea YouTube TV was a thing. Do you get those as part of the YouTube premium subscription, or is that separate?
Separate.
Oh, okay, of course it is. Well, I don't have the premium subscription, but I thought, if all that was on there, kind of like Amazon Prime, then I'd be tempted to. But I'm not going to pay YouTube Premium just to get rid of ads. Jeez. Right,
Yeah.
Slack. Oh, sorry, Jessie, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure that the reason you guys don't have it, though, is because you have fees you have to pay for live TV, right?
We got
it's
TV
an annual
license.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have that. So I think that's why.
But the TV license, as archaic and useless as it is going away at some point. I think it's like 2027 or something. They've said they're finally going to bin it. But the only people that benefit from that are the BBC. The other companies, all the other channels, all the broadcasters and the Sky TV and Virgin, they don't get any money from it. It's only BBC and the government.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that would have an effect on people being allowed to open up a service for that. I would imagine that's more to do with like competition laws and the fact that like Sky has got exclusive rights to these channels and Virgin Media's got exclusive rights to those channels. I would imagine it's more to do with that. YouTube probably just can't find a reasonable way in to get enough content over to us because they've sort of got the monopoly, I imagine. Right. Anyway, Josh
here says, hello, Jessie, Slack, and Foxy. I didn't mean to send that email last time. I was actually trying to delete it. But anyways, watching your podcast makes my day or night, considering the fact that I watch it at 10 at night. What email?
do you remember last week we had the email that just said send from my iPad and it was blank?
Yeah, I remember.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now we know.
Now we know.
Thanks, Josh. Jonas Craft says, hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. Or Jessie, anyways. What? Or maybe they're just talking to Jessie. I was planning to join the Minecraft Update podcast Discord, so I clicked the link to the Discord, and it wants me to verify my Discord with my phone number, but I don't have one. So I can't send anything or do anything except for read the messages sent by other people in the Discord. I will still enjoy the podcast, even if I can't join the Discord. Well, for security reasons, every Discord that I make, I always make sure that you need to have phone verification because there's a lot of bad stuff out there. There's a lot of spammers. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of these things that go around Discord that people just join your Discord, put links in there that are bad, and then disappear again. So I always like to make sure people are verified because generally speaking, and I know this isn't everyone. I know the world's a big place and there's all sorts of different people with different sort of backgrounds and different levels of where they're at with things. But generally speaking, on the majority, I think even in the furthest regions of the world, most people have phones these days of one way or another. So I'm sorry you don't have a phone, but them's the rules, I'm afraid. What do you guys think? Are we being too harsh? Should I open it up?
No, I put that on pretty much any Discord I'm part of, and yeah, just in this day and age, there's too many people that can make just trolley accounts just for fun.
Yeah. Jessiie?
I don't even know what mine is set to now that like you mentioned that, and I was like, that's probably a smart idea. So I think I'm definitely for making a verification a thing, but now I gotta go run to my Discord and check to make sure that that's a thing.
Yeah, I've had it on forever just because I know it means less people can get to your Discord, but generally speaking, it's probably the trouble causers that are having the trouble, to be fair, I guess. I don't know. Oh, geez. Right. Jessiie, it's your feedback.
Oh, yes. So Lord Gavitron says, love the show. Look forward to it each week. Was wondering if you, as the content creators, have any input into the ads. While I appreciate being offered pills, pills to enhance my manliness, I can only imagine the awkward conversations being started in your listeners' homes. I listen through Apple Podcast app. Keep up all the hard work and high quality output. So here's the thing, Gav. I love you. I adore you, Gav. Ads are pretty personalized. So typically you get ads for things that you have either talked about or researched. So
not always, but yeah.
I will argue in this one that we could talk. That we could sit and talk about something in a Discord call, and then I will see ads related to it on YouTube or something else later. So like all of a sudden I can be like, oh, you all need baby diapers. Well, why don't you go check them out here?
Oh, don't say that. I already get enough adverts for diapers. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Someone thinks you're having a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's not necessarily something you've gone out of your way to look for, but you might have been stood with people having a conversation about it at work and an app on your phone's listening, like Facebook listens to you so it can get ads and stuff like that. There's all sorts, but I did actually reply to that in the Discord saying, lol, we have no control over the ads. As I like to remind people, when you get ads over the digital content, they're genuinely in some way tied to your online habit/search history. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. And also, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling manly enough.
That's amazing. Oh, they just cut out that laugh. I don't even care. That's amazing.
So
good.
I am sorry, Lord Gavitron. It's... it's sad news, but yeah, maybe someone's been using your phone. Maybe that's what. Maybe you got hacked. Yeah,
or maybe your Discord voice calls that you've been in been a little bit on the questionable side.
Jeez, right, Rob. No, not Rob. Slack. What's Rob got to say?
With regards to your lamenting the lack of bedrock hardcore, this was posted by Corner Hard yesterday, confirming that it is coming, which is at least something. And then, of course, it includes a picture of Marshall asking Corner Hard, hey, since we are getting spectator mode, will we get hardcore? And then Corner Hard replied, it's on the parody list, but not sure exactly when it'll come. Spectator is still a work in progress.
Good news, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm all for a working, not janky hardcore in Bedrock. That would be wonderful.
Are you saying my add-on's janky?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Do you remember when we played? There was like
that's UHC you're talking about, not
You're right.
Yeah, but
the
UHC's really janky.
I'm sorry, I take it back. Yeah, the UHC was awful. I mean, it was fun, but it was rough.
It's not my fault. There's a lot going on to make it work, and it needed optimized. Jeez, waterboarders, they're hard to make. Oh man.
Love you though.
But do you?
I do. It was great. It was a wonderful experience. It just was real difficult.
Yeah, I admit that it was not great. But hardcore. That's the easiest thing in the world. If they get spectator right, then hardcore, literally all it is changing the hearts, and when you die, changing the buttons. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So it's not good. I can't see it being a big job for them to add in hardcore mode, because literally that when proper spectator mode comes out, the day it comes out, I guarantee you my hardcore mode add-on will be updated and all it will do is just put you in spectator mode instead of my janky spectator mode when you die, and that's it, job done. So if it can take me 30 seconds, then it can take them 30 seconds. Jeez. Well, anyway, moving on from my janky add-ons. Jeez. Nias John says, "Hey, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie B. In episode 27, you were saying that some feedback would be better for conversation. From that discussion, I'm led to wonder whether or not it would be worth you starting those conversations here. Perhaps after curating the list to 1 or 2 per week. I know your point was repeatedly made that those folks should just engage here, but maybe there's a reason they cannot. If it is that discussion raises a few interesting points, perhaps you could even summarize those points during the podcast in a separate segment or just include as part of the feedback." So I think what me as John is saying here is, can we go through all of the feedback and post it ourselves in the Discord? Is that what they're saying? I'm very confused.
I think it's more them saying if we see those like feedbacks that are conversations, can we start that discussion in Discord? So yes, kind of, that's what they're saying. At least the way I read that is not like post everyone's feedback or whatever, but just post if we see something that is a discussion or something that we think would be a good discussion. Just start that in the Discord instead of putting it into like the podcast or
I'm going to
create
say
a thing.
I'm going to say I'm not going to be your secretary, me as John. I would rather just ask people politely to post their discussions in the Discord than me have to go and, clear out the trash and put it in the recycling bin myself, because I got enough stuff to do each week getting prepared for these podcasts. I don't think I need to be nanny to that as well. Am I being unfair there?
Nope,
No.
you're not being unfair there.
But it is interesting, right? Because I think some people maybe don't realize that the feedback they're giving is more of a discussion. Like they just genuinely think, oh, this would be good feedback, and don't think about it. So maybe that could be something, someone like me would be interested in. I like reading comments and stuff. So I wouldn't be opposed to curating that list, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, feel free to go through the emails and the feedback form each week and drag out all the junk and stick it in the Discord.
Nope.
Speaking of which, we got a response from Tyler. I haven't put it in the feedback. They've put it as feedback, but we got a response from Tyler in the emails. I wasn't going to read it, but I will, just because this has come up. And because obviously I was like, Tyler sent us, 7 emails last week or something like that. And Tyler says, I wanted to say the small things that I send frequently is just to hear from you. I don't have access to Discord for personal reasons. And if I did, I would send most of my feedback through it. Not upset, just wanted to inform you. So it's sad that for whatever reason you can't get onto Discord. And as much as it's great hearing from you, unfortunately, the emails is just not a place. Not a place for chit chat. So I think you need to find another means, to be honest. Unless Jessiie is going to go through the emails each week and curate it all and sort it all out. Jessiie, you've got a job.
I might try it this next week just to see kind of what if it's worth the time putting into it, because I have time to read and I like, making notes. I like being organized. So
Did she just give Tyler permission to fire away?
no.
Spam the emails with messages to Jessiie.
No.
What will you have for breakfast? What time you getting the buzz?
Oh my goodness.
What colour do you think grass should be in Minecraft that's got nothing to do with the podcast? You keep it coming, guys. Put it all in the emails for Jessiie next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, suddenly I'm going to not be here next week. Sorry. So Benji says, Foxy, look at you promoting the idea of using an unfinished website to give you feedback. Maybe instead of making stupid owl mods on stream, maybe make a website. One, stupid owl mod. Ouch. Painful. Love owls.
I'm going. Oh, go on. Carry on.
I was going to say, and 2, Foxy, what do you think?
I'm going to assume that Benji, that this is not intended to be the quite brash and rude feedback that I originally read it as, and that it is you tongue in cheek pulling my leg and having a bit of fun. I would just remind people, if they're gonna, like, we have banter on this podcast, we jibe at each other and jib at each other, but it's vocally done, so you can hear the intonation in our voices. When you replicate that in text format, it's very difficult to understand the emotion behind it, the context behind it. And when I read that, and I showed it to Slack and Jessie as well before the podcast, we all said, oof, that's harsh. We shouldn't add that to the podcast. And because Benji has sent us other stuff as well, and there's something in the questions later, the Bugdate, later from them, I thought, no, this is Benji just, trying to be funny. It didn't come across particularly funny, but I get what you're trying to say there. As a serious response to the website thing, we don't need a website for the podcast. A website would offer us nothing other than taking a lot of my time to do. It's not going to help. We've got a Discord, we've got emails, we've got a feedback form, we've got the podcast, we've got a YouTube channel. Well, we don't. We're sharing my YouTube channel. But my point is, the website won't do anything. It does everything we need it to do already, which is have our branding on it, have a link to the feedback form, and have a link to where people can listen to the podcast. We don't need any more than that. So if you're concerned that it's unfinished, well, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. What do you guys think?
Yeah, me and you had this problem a lot early on.
Oh, yeah.
Because we would go to do collabs together, and then we would spend a few days where we didn't talk, and he would say something, and he would send me a message, and me being an American, I'd take it one way, and him being British, he meant it a different way. So
many times.
Yeah, like we would go a couple weeks, like he'd say something, then I'd say something, then we wouldn't talk for a week, and be like, "Are you over being mad at me?" Well, I wasn't mad at you. Well, and it's been both ways, because text, you put your own tone to it. And depending on where the person lives, the tone can be pretty negative sometimes.
Let's be honest, Slack, at times over the years, either both of us or one of us at a time has often been close to tears because of the way that we've read something that the other one said. And
the great K debate.
Hey, the what?
The great K debate.
What's the K debate?
Just saying like okay or K.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And it's always like meant as a fun thing to say or just a bit of conversation. But I mean, you can read text so many different ways. I mean, hats off to good authors, people that can write well, because they obviously tell a story. They want you to read it and feel it in a certain way. But you've got to set that tone in what you're writing. You can't take a paragraph or a sentence from a book completely out of context and understand what it means. It could have the complete opposite meaning. And quite regularly on Discord, I find myself with my foot wedged so far in my mouth, I can feel my big toe wiggling in the back of my pants.
And it's not just you,
my God.
We take TB as a prime example. I'm not calling nobody out, but somebody can say something in the back room of Discord. 3 people will take it one way, 4 people will take it another, and 2 are just confused.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's just like, huh? What do you even mean with that?
And it doesn't. I've got a knack for doing it. Doesn't matter how nice I try and be, how many smiley emoji faces I put on there. See, at one point, I couldn't understand why I was upsetting people, and it turns out the younger generation hate full stops or periods wherever you live. Apparently that, these days, is a sign that you're being confrontational and abrupt if you finish your sentence in the correct way. So I'm like, I better not put a full stop on that. So text is hard, Benji. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you were making a joke, but if not, clear off. Don't come back to the podcast. Jeez.
Get on out of here. Yeah. Go on now. Get.
Oh goodness. Oh man.
Slack.
Dylan here trying to be a comedian. I'm just saying, Dylan here. I just wanted to say that Jessie and Slack's audio was crispy
With the K.
Hey yo.
Yeah. Right, and the last piece of feedback is that ridiculously long books from Capped Cracks, which I've already talked about, so we're not going to go into it, which means that's the end of the feedback. And if you would like to leave us feedback, then please do via our email, which is news@theminecraftupdate.com. Or you can go to the unfinished website, scramble about desperately looking for links in the clutter of information that's on there, and find the feedback form and put it on there. Or if you really, really want to, you can put it on the Discord. So that's it. We don't take them from the YouTube channel anymore because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered, but I might send Jessie there next week to curate all of the information from the YouTube comments as well. Sounds like a good plan. What do you think, Slack?
Yay.
No, I approve. Yeah, sounds like Jessie job. Yeah.
And we
Jessie
need to go
job.
back a few weeks, Jessie, because I haven't been pulling them out for a while.
Sounds like I'm going to have a good, long, busy weekend.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
This.
Right, so out of the feedback and into the news. We haven't got much news this week at all, but we're going to be touching on a sensitive subject. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a YouTube video that was on the Minecraft YouTube channel, which was the Marketplace 5-year celebration video. Did anyone see it?
Yep.
No.
Did it come across to you as probably one of the most tone-deaf videos of our generation?
Yes. Yes, it certainly did. It was very much gross.
It was awful, wasn't it?
I feel like I really missed something.
Yeah, I would watch it just to watch it. But I think you nailed it on the head. It was the most tone deaf thing that I have seen in a while.
Basically, they got, was it like 2 of the 300 odd Minecraft Marketplace creators to talk about how wonderful they were, how great the stuff is they put out, how amazing the content is on the Marketplace, and how much they listen to their fans, how much they're listening to the community and doing what the community wants. And they kept laboring this point that we're listening to the community and giving you what the community wants. If you look at the comments for that video, the top comments, they are all, when will you start listening to the community? And like just really negative. There was a big backlash. So that's why I watched it, because I saw someone tweeted that there was a big backlash to this, and I watched it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm ashamed to be involved. I'm glad they didn't ask me to do anything for this video. Jeez. So yeah. Oh geez. Oh, Minecraft, you need to open your eyes before you open your mouth.
This I haven't seen the video, so it reminds me of the what was it, YouTube Rewind that did horrible.
Oh,
and
yeah. The Will Smith one.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
But at least YouTube weren't going, hey, we're listening. Like Twitch do this all the time. They go, hey, we're listening to the community, so we're going to start making everyone have to have more ads, and we're going to make it so you have to pay to play to get to the top. No, you're not listening to the community. You're telling us you've listened to the community and then doing all the things that we don't want. Twitch do that. It's annoying, it's horrible, and it just makes me hate them when they do it. YouTube Rewind, it's not necessarily a bad video. It's pretty cringeworthy, but everyone just wants to hate on it because it's a YouTube video. But they're not out there going actively, hey, we're listening to you guys and we'll do all these things for you. They're just putting together what they think is a cool and trendy video, which is normally well out of date, well off trend, and not very cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think their mistake in that one too was they're like, let's see what the comments say, and like they like got all the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And the comments on that video were like, really? You really want to do that?
Yeah. So it was very similar to that sort of Twitch thing as, hey, we're listening, we're giving you all the things you want. And then I don't know who they're listening to. And clearly this isn't just me. I'm reading from the YouTube comments as well, just seeing the fact that the general consensus, at least from the top comments, and I know that's potentially a small minority, but top comments are there because they've been liked more than the rest of the comments. The feeling was pretty negative about that video, so you might want to rethink that one, Minecraft, and put out one that's a little bit more better.
Would you take part in this video, Foxy?
If they asked, I would more than happily, go along and say, give my account of what it's like to be a marketplace creator and what I want to see from the marketplace coming up, rather than just, this scripted, hey, this is cool, everybody should go on the marketplace because it's really cool and we're doing all this cool stuff and we're cool. But did I mention how cool we are? It was just a
I have a feeling you would want to see the final product before it was launched.
Oh yeah,
Foxy, no, he'd be like, I don't agree with this. Get me off of this.
I don't understand why they only picked like 2 creators out of literally hundreds from all over the world. Why just pick? I mean, I didn't hear anything about this. There was nothing at my end to say, hey, we're doing this video. Does anyone want to be a part of it? So again, not just tone deaf to the community, but a little bit tone deaf to the marketplace partners as well. I mean, I feel, I know I'm not a big partner. I don't have a big team. I don't put out a massive amount of content, but just to be unaware of it and then see it come out just felt a little bit like, oh, thanks, guys.
We did this TB special, but you're not there, Slack. What? Huh? What? Excuse me? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on. Minecraft Java Edition 1.19.1 pre-release 3 has been released, and in that there are a few fixes for the new chat system. There was a couple of errors with a few things, and that's about it. But they did touch on, which is the more sensitive part of the news, the sad news that Technoblade, a big popular Minecraft creator, unfortunately died last week, which is horrendous news for his fans, family, and followers. And we don't want to touch on it too much, purely because, and this sounds bad and it doesn't sound great, but we're not on the Technoblade spectrum the same way his big fans are. We're not in those circles, so it would feel very insensitive of us to try and make a big deal out of something that we relatively know very little about other than what we've read on the news and seen. So obviously it is news. It's horrendously sad. It's horrendously sad for his family. It's horrendously sad for all of the community and all of his fans. But yeah, I'm already struggling to not say the wrong thing, and we desperately don't want to, because we don't want to be insensitive. We don't want to be disrespectful. Minecraft have obviously reached out, and they've put some honors out in the fact that they've put the pig with the crown on the splash screen, which was, I believe, Technoblade's skin, or very similar to it because it was on a pig rather than a player. And they also put a Twitter post out which says, "We've been trying to find the words, but all of us here at Minecraft are heartbroken over the loss of Technoblade. He meant so much to our community and brought so much joy. He will be missed dearly." And we've seen the community response to this. We've seen just how many people have been very vocal about it. And we are aware that it is not great for a lot of people, particularly, obviously, his family and himself as well. I mean, it's awful, isn't it? It is. Yeah. What do you
it's
say?
a horrible thing. You don't want to see nothing like that ever happen. You don't want to see nothing like that ever happen.
No, Jessie, would you like to touch on this at all before we move on?
Yeah. I talked about it in stream. It's really one of those awful things where someone's so young and like with so much promise is just gone. It's a hard situation, and I genuinely feel for anybody who knew him, for anybody who was a fan of his. It's sad. So all you can really hope for is healing and just say, obviously he was really cared for. So it's good to see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up a little bit of a touchier one here on this. Okay. And you can, if you get mad at me here, it's because you're not listening to what I'm saying. But you said they put his skin, or they put the crown on the pig on the splash screen. Is that temporary? Is that permanent?
I would imagine it's temporary.
Yeah, I would imagine it's temporary.
The reason I ask is, do you think that that's setting a precedent for the future? And I'm not saying nothing against the person. I did not know them as a content creator. I can say, oh, they were a content creator. I'm sorry that they're gone. I don't want to see nobody die. That's part of life. But is Minecraft and Mojang setting a precedent here that feels like a slippery slope?
Yeah, something that they can't continue with.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Because where do you draw the line? Like what?
That's
what
my question.
Equals what equals a shout out from Minecraft, right? Like, is it 1 million? Is it like what is it? And then is somebody gonna get offended? Like, it's a very I think you worded it right, a slippery slope, because you never want to set this idea that, oh, we care about one person over other people, especially as a company. I would imagine like that seems risky.
Yeah. How many fans do you gotta have for Minecraft to call you out if you're a content creator and something happens to you? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. And anybody that at me, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying it sounds like they've set a very dangerous precedent for the future.
Let's
For themselves.
just take a step back and just remind people here that we're not against this. We're not against what the Minecraft done, and we might sound distant from grieving and being sad about this. But I just want to take a second again to just reiterate that Technoblade wasn't on our. It was certainly, I think Jessiie was aware of them. Slack was to a degree. They weren't on my radar at all, and that might sound crazy because now, after all of this and all of the stuff that's gone on, all the news and the posts, and it's even been on BBC News where I live, I didn't know generally, that this was such a huge member of the community, and all the things I've heard about them are absolutely wonderful. And yeah, so please don't consider we're just being disrespectful and shrugging them off as, we weren't part of their community, so we don't care. We absolutely do care, but we weren't part of their community, and we weren't. And from my personal perspective, I was aware of the name. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know it was a Minecraft person. I didn't know that died until I saw it on the news. So. Yeah,
I care enough. I'm worried about the precedent that this sets for the future and potentially splitting the fan base later on. Say something happens to some other prominent Minecrafter and Minecraft doesn't do nothing. Then you're going to have people screaming, well, you did this for this person.
Exactly.
Why won't you do something for this one?
That's where the problem is. So the problem isn't that they've done this for Technoblade. I think it's a really, really nice thing to do. And I think obviously with the circumstances of his age and how it all happened, I think it's a lovely thing to do. But it does go to the future, if something horrendous happens to someone else that's maybe not as big or as big as part of the community as Technoblade, even though they've got a big community themselves, is that going to be like, well, how come you did that for them, but you haven't done that for this person? And is that going to upset that fan base? Is that going to have a knock-on effect on Mojang and Minecraft? Because we all know that a small community with a loud voice can make a big stink.
Big waves.
Yeah, so it's a tricky one because obviously if Minecraft does intend to be around for a very long time, these things are going to happen at some point, and it's going to happen hopefully not regularly and hopefully not to many people, but it is going to happen. People in the limelight. It happens with celebrities. We're always seeing on the news somebody that we grew up as a childhood hero of ours is unfortunately, not with us anymore. And that's going to seep into this community as well. And the Minecraft community is so big and it's so vocal and it's so widespread around the world. What if it was somebody that's big in India that we don't know about maybe so much here, but they've got billions or millions of fans over in the East? And are we going to see that? Or is that going to be brought over? How are Minecraft handling this going forward is the worry, I guess, rather than the issue.
It's like you're talking about people with different communities. Like, had it not been for Twitch and Truly Bedrock, I would have probably never met Bruno. And Bruno's got a massive following for what he does. But he would have never been on my radar, and he's in a different country. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I'm worried. I'm probably unjustifiably, but at the same time, that it sets a dangerous precedent. And if you don't do it in the future for others.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds harsh, but how many subscribers do you have to have? How big a community do you have to the point where Mojang recognizes you? Or do you just have to be somebody that they're aware of? Does it not matter the size of your community or your fan base? Do you just have to have had regular communication with them? Maybe a couple of the developers. I really don't know.
Would something happen for you? Would something happen for Silent? Would something happen for me? And I'm not wanting anything, but it's just a question. Sorry, go Jessiie. I'll shut up.
I was gonna say, I think I do not want this to sound terrible. And I just have to say, I appreciate that we're being careful and that we're trying to speak our opinions as eloquently as we can. I think that shows that we are trying to be respectful. However, I don't want to sugarcoat everything all the time. And so I'm going to say this. And what I'm going to say is that it feels like it matters if you're trendy. So Technoblade has trended countless times since I have been a content creator. Well, no, not since I've been a content creator, since the Dream SMP happened, right? Like that's what got them trending. Literally on Twitter, I have seen the hashtag of something they have done countless times. And if I were a betting person, that matters. That matters when it comes to, am I going to say something? As a company, do we acknowledge this? And it's because if you don't acknowledge it, then you might be trending for the wrong reason. And I don't want to sound cynical. I don't want to think, oh, well, that's why people do these things. But it's a business. At the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says. Minecraft is a business. They're in it to make money. And I care about its longevity. And I think this may be an interesting turning point where people are going to pay attention. So that's what I'll say about it.
I see this happening more and more and more when there is bad news or just news generally on. It tends to be more to do with bad news, that Twitter is this arena where it's not about being respectful and offering your condolences to the deceased or whatever bad has gone on, but it's being the first person to get the attention for what a lovely message they sent. You know, look at me and how I'm responding to this, rather than actually just responding to it in a respectful way. For me personally, the way I deal with things like that, my respectful way to respond to these things is just not to respond, because I don't want the attention from someone else's misfortune or someone else's, like his family's devastation. And that might sound like, well, you know, you're just avoiding doing the right thing or the nice thing. I think it's very popular. I think, again, a word Jessie's just used, trendy, to be that person that tells everybody, oh, I've said these nice things about this person. Look how lovely I am. What a great person I am. I don't want that. I wouldn't want people to do that if it was me. I would like to be recognized and talked about by my community, but I wouldn't want the world just like being like, hey, look how, what a lovely thing I said about this. So
you should do this. You should do that. You should, yeah.
So I think everybody, particularly celebrities and companies now, are in a really difficult place where they have to acknowledge this sort of stuff. Being quiet about it isn't going to do them any favors. And it's how they acknowledge it and how they respond that is what they're going to be judged on. So obviously they're going to do it in the most delicate and respectful way they can. For me, I think they probably should have, instead of doing it as a company, I think it would have been better if the individual developers reached out on Twitter through their own accounts and said something, rather than Minecraft doing it in general. And don't get me wrong, again, going back to what we said at the start, I'm really glad that they have. I think it's lovely, and considering the circumstances and his age and what a massive person he was to the community, I think it's great. But I think it's really difficult going forward from this for anybody else that happens. You know, what if somebody big, I don't want to say it because you jinx people, but what if someone's involved in a horrendous accident or something like that out of the blue? Are they going to get the same thing? How does Minecraft do something without going, look at me and how wonderful I am in the wake of this person's tragedy? And I think it's just hard. I mean, there's no right answer to that, is there?
No, not at all. But I think you kind of nailed it on the head. I think it would have made more sense as a business to individually say something, because it wouldn't have taken much more time than that. It would have.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like Jessie, you said, they and it's not saying that they were pressured to do it. Okay, let's not do that. But there was a lot of things on Twitter where everybody's like, well, Minecraft should do this. They should, change it where if you name tag a pig, that it does this automatically.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I think there was a lot of pressure. I think there's.
Oh, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm kind of going with it. Was that pressure or was it not pressure? And was this the company giving in to the pressure of the fan base? And if so, even though it's a great thing what they did, I think they were wrong. I'll be the one to say I think they were wrong if they gave in to pressure.
Yeah, if it was purely based on the pressure from the fan base rather than doing the right thing because that was the decision they'd made internally to do. Yeah, but we can't know that, and we can speculate on that all day, and it's not going to do anybody any favors doing that. But yeah, discussions definitely around these things is always a good thing to have.
I'm just worried if it sets a precedent for the future is all. And I'm curious what the viewers think too, or the listeners. Sorry, not viewers, listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have got any respectful feedback on this, or if you would like an opportunity or an outlet to talk to people about it, then please feel free to do so on the Discord without being judged or anything. I would be, politely ask you, if you are going to do that, not to use it as an opportunity to create attention or spam or, push boundaries where they shouldn't be. As long as it's respectful and meaningful, that's absolutely fine. But we have seen, obviously, a lot of stuff going around from this, particularly, I would imagine, from the younger the younger followers of the Dream SMP that took it upon themselves to cause trouble with this news. Let's put it that way, and we don't want to see that, obviously. But yeah, if you are affected by this and you're feeling it, then please feel free to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Anyway, moving on from that, because that was really hard, and geez, how do you approach something like that? Let's hope we don't ever have to do anything like that again.
I don't want to ever see that. Especially, I don't ever want to know that with nobody I know. God, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, from bad news to bad bugs, have you got any bugs this week that you guys have been dealing with?
Actually, no. As much as I've been playing, I haven't had no real bug issues this week. That's odd.
Jessiie, any bugs?
No, I can't think of a single one that I've had recently at all, which is interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, fortunately, because I haven't either, because I can't even say I had any bugs doing the blue screen stuff, getting everyone in this time. Didn't have any skin issues, didn't have any joining issues. Yeah, okay, no bugs from us, but we do have bugs from Benji, Josh, and PLJ95. I'm going to start with Benji, who, again, bordering on whether or not it's a joke at the end or not, but we will see next week, I guess, if we get some feedback back from Benji. Says, hey, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie, I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but when I did, I found another boat bug. When I went in a boat on land, I could not switch my items in my hotbar, and it showed that I was holding my torches, but in my hand, I was still holding my iron sword. I did try this on water as well, and it worked fine. I also play on mobile, so that may have something to do with it. Hope you're having a great week of web building. You better do it, it says in capital letters. I'm not going to do the website, Benji, but yeah, that's an interesting bug.
I wouldn't say I've experienced that one. I have experienced some odd ones with boats, like suddenly you're going forward and you stop and you go to eat and then you go forward again and the food disappears and everything, but not that with the sword.
I tell you what, I found out on Java Edition, you can't nudge boats. Like, we had 2 villagers in a boat and I couldn't nudge them. I had to put a bucket of water down to move them. And then, like, they moved slightly too close to a building and they started taking, like, suffocation damage, but they weren't even in the block. So, yeah, maybe I have had a bug this week. Jessiie, thoughts on that one? Have you had that bug?
I'm trying to think of the last time I was in a boat on land. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever paid attention, though.
No. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's not something if you're boating on land that you're generally mucking about with items, is it? So, yeah. You're normally too busy worried about the pillager you got in the back shooting you in the back of the head.
Okay. Josh says, hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. By the way, sometimes if I'm building up, for example, in a cave, 1 second, I'm trying to leave. The next, I'm trying to run to my stuff before it despawns. And I didn't even jump off. I just died. Do you know why this happened?
Sorry, I'm laughing because there's not a single comma or punctuation mark. It's just one long sentence. That was really hard for Jessiie.
That's fine. Yeah, that was rough. So I have no idea what they're even asking. Did anybody else understand any of that?
So I'm building up, for example, in a cave 1 second. I'm trying to leave the next. I'm trying to run to my stuff before it despawns, and I didn't even jump off. I just died. Do you know why this happened? No, Josh.
Okay, I'm gonna try to.
We've got enough information there.
I'm gonna try to
problem.
interpret it. I'm gonna say they were pillaring up to get out of the cave. They took random damage and they died, and now they're trying to get back to their stuff. Bedrock,
Maybe.
love to give random damage while you're pillaring up. That's all I can say.
Oh,
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah. You take damage while you're pillaring up all the time. So it could have just been you took one like small nudge of something and then just exploded. That's happened.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Slack.
Peter here, PLJ95 said, I've had a bug since 1.19.2 that when I use SoSpeed 3, the field of view doesn't change, even when I'm no longer on SoSand, SoSoil until I take the boots off and run around.
Interesting.
Because I don't play with gameplay affects my field of view, so I would have not run into that one.
No,
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I turned that off.
I used to love that, and I used to love the view bobbing, but I got so many complaints from people in videos that I just turned them both off, and now that's the only way I play. So, yeah, unfortunately, haven't seen that, but it does sound like a bit of a weird change that, why would your boots affect you? Very strange.
Wait, does that mean I can put speed beacons everywhere now and you won't complain about it?
Yeah, I guess so. That just means I fall down even more holes.
Oh, that'd be fine. It's not on the hardcore world. I mean, what?
Jeez. All right, no, those bug reports, none of them had bug numbers. None of them were confirmed bugs. I don't mind that at all. That's absolutely fine. But if you do have a bug report or if you found it on the Jira, then please do send that so that we can attach it to it so we can get these things upvoted. But that is it from the Bugdate. If you want to send us a bug, make sure to email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can use our handy online feedback form, which you can find on the website, which just happens to be theminecraftupdate.com. But just bear in mind, it's not finished, okay? It's just a picture and some links. It's not official. It's not official. It's unofficial. I haven't said it yet. It's unofficial. Minecraft
Unofficial.
Update. Unofficial. Very much unofficial. Not even a bit official. Very, very unofficial. Right. Now, but what we are doing, Slack, is we're officially moving into the wish list. And I can see each one of us has got some wish list items this week that you either do want or don't want. So starting with Jessie, you want to be able to turn off monsters.
So at first, right, I saw that and I was like, this is interesting. And I'm probably going to put it for the wrong, like for the no, right? Like this is weird. However, I clicked on it and it very specifically says that it's for people who play in creative, right? Like they want the experience of having to eat. They want the experience of like running and saturation and all that, but they still don't want monsters. And I think that's a good idea. Like I know for Ethan, when he was like really young and starting to play, it would have been nice if he could still eat and do all of those things and break blocks like without just punching everything to death, right? Like being able to mine. So I like that idea. I like the peaceful idea with so
that you need a mix of invulnerability and flight, don't you, for beginner players? So basically, you're not having a peaceful mode, you're having easy mode. So like the complete opposite of hardcore mode. You just can't die.
Yeah.
And you can fly. So when you get stuck in a hole, you can fly out.
Yeah. I think that would be so good for kids. Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh, that would have made life so much easier with Oliver when he was little, especially when they're learning an iPad at the same time. Oh, that'd be fantastic. So it's called Turning Off Monsters Only. I think we need to adapt this. I think that kind of works, but I don't think we need to turn off monsters because that could be fun if they're invincible and they can't die.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just call it easy mode.
Yeah. So,
easy mode.
Yeah. What's like super easy? Like
cheesy.
Like you've got hard cheesy mode.
Easy
mode.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Cheese
so
core.
good.
Okay.
Cheese
core. I probably get yelled at. I want to say it, but I'm probably going to get yelled at by an individual. I mean, that might be a nice mode for Lofty because Lofty likes creative.
Yeah, Lofty would love that.
Lofty. Yeah.
Lofty's permanently getting blown up by creepers or dead from something or other. That is perfect. Honestly, playing with your kids in survival when they're young, like when Oliver's not so bad now, but when he was sort of 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, it was hard because they get frustrated because they just don't have the motor skills or the experience to deal with things. Even when you're on easy, even when you're on peaceful, they still manage to find themselves little bit like me, falling down holes or falling in lava or drowning because they've got stuck underwater and they can't get back out. So yeah, I think
training mode,
training wheels. Yeah, total invulnerability and the ability to fly out of a difficult situation, which we would have if we had a toggle for spectator, I guess. But yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Put it in the good ideas bin, Jesse. We'll have that one, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Slack. Yours. Controversial.
Why is it controversial?
I don't know. I want to make it sound interesting.
Look, it's just rice.
Rice.
Just rice. Now, I'm not interested in it necessarily for the food. I think a food update would be nice where we change stuff. And if we did get a food update, it would be, this is me mixing in 7 days. I saw this and I thought, oh, that'd be nice. Because in 7 days, if you have a bowl of rice and some mods, it makes you run faster.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, what if food gave you effects? And then the terraformer in me. Yeah. Well, the terraformer in me wants something else besides just wheat and carrots and stuff like that to grow.
Rice fields do look amazing in real life.
Rice fields. Oh, I would love it where you had to like waterlog a like soil or something. Like that would be that would look really cool. I'm in. Sold.
I went to see my uncle in the Philippines a few years ago, and just like looking at some of the hillsides that are just rice plantations, just absolutely incredible. So yeah, I'll be well up for that. Just for planting them. Not bothered about eating rice. They don't even have to make it edible.
Yeah.
just let me let me plant them and have lovely.
Let me plant
rice
fields of it. Yep, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the whole process of rice is fascinating because, like, obviously you have to dry it out and you've got to, the whole lot. Yeah, bring it in. Rice, please. Yeah, good idea has been Slack. You're allowed this week. I'll let you.
Thank you, everybody. I tried.
Now, mine is a bit of an odd one because I'm going to say this and you might say, well, that's already in the game, but I don't think it is. And there is obviously a feedback request from this, but it is from a long time ago. And the feedback request just simply says lakes. Now, the text on it says, can we get deeper lakes? All of the lakes are one block deep puddles. Not necessarily, that's not my issue. It's got 775 votes, by the way. I would just like, instead of you get to a water's edge and it's an ocean, I'd like a big pond or a big lake in the middle of a landmass. And I know it's possible to see that sometimes, but it's not very regular, is it? Like, you're talking like a seed in 1,000 to see something like that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I think they're more common on Java.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I've seen them a lot on Java.
I'm not thinking like lava pool size. I'm thinking like a good lake. You could put a fishing boat on it.
Where it's almost like a big old, what am I thinking of? Oh, there's a term for it. Anyway, yeah, I've seen them a lot. Like the big old bodies of water in the middle of a piece of land. It's nice.
Yeah, but I want the other end of it to be in render distance so it doesn't just feel like the ocean. So like,
because we got oceans and rivers. Why not lakes? Because like right now, like on the hardcore world, I can boat everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's all connected up by rivers. But what if there was, like, yes, I'm so, can we put a witch hut in the middle of a lake too? And that's how you got to get to it.
Yeah, and I know you can make your own lakes, but digging out an area that sort of size and then filling it in with water would drive you nuts, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
The digging out's fine, but filling anything in with water, oh man. It's a nightmare. Yes.
Yeah, I voted. Just saying, I voted for you.
When we had Truly Bedrock Season 3, we had almost a lake, didn't we? Between where the nether portal was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't quite, but I filled the edges in and did a lot of work on that. I really enjoyed that, and I loved the lake, but that was too round and too not natural enough. I want to in the foot of a mountain, I want to see a big lake, and then I want to see the stream coming down from that lake going to over to the ocean. Yeah. That's what I want.
Happy cabin there on the side. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So that's all three in the good ideas bin. But let's find out with our new document if the peeps from the Discord have had any good ideas that could also go in the good ideas bin. Starting with Zeta, who says, so I've always thought about the potion brewing system could use a fun overhaul with campfires being added to the game. If you put a cauldron over a campfire, you should be able to produce a weak version of potions by adding various ingredients to the cauldron with right-clicking. Then to enhance them in the long duration or higher potency versions, you would need a brewing stand. This could lead to other ingredients beside the current ones being tested or or potions that could be made this way, or other fun ideas. So you can't automate an unsniffable potion or haste potion. It would have to be manually made. Perhaps things like lighting and delighting the campfire could also change the quality in a modded version of this, but feels too far for the vanilla game. I really like that, but I want to throw the items in. I want to chuck them in the top. I don't want to click on it with them.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, I would agree on that. But yeah.
And I want to be able to use because we can use the shovel for a boat, or I want to be able to use it as a big spoon to stir it as well.
Ah, yeah. How cute would that be?
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
I'm so sold.
And then I want to take my golden carrots and I want to mix it with the potion. So now I have a smaller version of the potion on my food.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. How good would that be?
Minecraft magic update when, please, bro.
Yes.
I need Voldemort and potion brewing.
Yeah.
Come on.
So like, say you wanted to make your golden carrots have night vision. You mix it with, a night vision potion, and now your carrots give you maybe 10 seconds of night vision every time you eat them.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh, yes.
Say you want your golden carrots to give you strength, so you mix it with the other thing, so it gives you strength for just 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you can only have one on. If you put them in another one, it wipes it off.
It overrides the other one. Yep. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think Foxy's right. I think we need a magic update. All of us are like drooling over like these potion things. Yep, magic. Need it.
Need
it's
magic
necessary.
I want a broomstick, and I want a wand. I want misty forests. Oh man! Please blow magic update. I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yep. I when you said magic update earlier, like last time, I was like, no, not interested. But when you say it to this degree, I'm completely sold. I am completely sold.
Yeah.
Like before, I was like, I'm not even interested. He wants wizards,
like, I don't
and
care.
you're a wizard, Harry. Is all I could think, and I'm just like, no. But like when we're
what
talking,
if you could take the witch's hat? What if you could get it?
That would be so cool. Give me that hat. Give me that hat. All right. We're gonna get stuck on this forever. So I'm gonna say JJ says.
Well, hang on.
No.
What about robes instead of armor?
Robes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Yes.
We're moving on.
You could take leather and wool and mix it up and make different robes.
Yeah, and put it in your cauldron with dyes to change the color.
Zeta, look what you have started. Look,
put it in the good ideas pile.
Yes, please. Foxy, add-on win.
Oh my god. This is trouble. So JJ, good old JJ over here says, I was just thinking last night about multi-brewing potions, i.e. making potions with multiple effects. Either there's some hard to get consumable you need to do it, or there's negative side effects for using multiple potions. E.g., you have an 8-minute night vision and swiftness potion, but when you drink it, you get 30 seconds of poison as well. Ooh. Okay, friend. I was counting on you, JJ, to switch.
I'm really liking this.
That's actually an interesting idea.
I don't like the negative effect as well. I don't see the need for that. I think potions either need to be stackable or this. This either or is good for me.
Yeah.
Because it's great getting, like when I went to the Deep Dark on stream the other day, I just was so full of potions, I had no room for anything else. And I get the same thing when you do raid stuff, and man, it's a nightmare.
This is where putting it on food for just a few seconds would be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let me stack potions or allow us to have multi potions, because that would be fantastic. I don't see the necessity to have a negative thing to this, because you're going to have to brew it more than once. So you've got that time where you've got to brew the potions. You know, if you put more ingredients in, it's going to take longer to brew. Echo shards. Maybe drop one of those in to double it up, or maybe a different type of bottle. I don't know, but yeah, I think this is great. Jessie, sorry, we've totally taken over.
No, that's totally fine. There we go.
It gets better. It gets better. The next piece of feedback down here from Hakuzu. Is that how you say that?
I think so.
Hakuzo. I would love to see more potion ingredients. Throw them in a pot and create unique potions. I love this. See, everybody's on the same.
I think so. All in the same wavelength.
Yeah. It's the potion update week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily feel the need to have more. I think we got a good range of potions. Obviously, I would like an unsniffable one, but that's more just for the lols than anything else.
Deodorant.
I would like a haste potion. I would really like a haste potion.
Oh, I love that.
We got lots of potion ingredients. I think there's enough other items in the game that aren't even used that could be potion ingredients, such as like rabbit's feet and rabbit's feet. No, that's potions of leafing, isn't it? Poisonous potatoes and things like that. So yeah, but potion, just general potion overhaul would be fantastic, please. Thank you, Jessiie.
Agreed. I'm on board with you guys. I think magic update, win, love it. I'd be okay with it.
Now, Mr. Balrogs, I don't know if it's an actual idea or what, but it just says speculation. The change now that it will only commit to the server that which is changed in terms of chunks. I wonder if we can fly higher than sim distance to avoid committing chunks entirely so that more of the world can be explored without bloating the world. See, I think this should have been in feedback, Mr. Balrog, but it's great that you put it on the Discord. So the idea there is with what we were saying last week wrong, but this week correctly about the server and client thing. So if the server is loading the simulation distance around a player, but the client is loading the chunks that are in render distance, if you fly higher than your simulation distance, is your computer just completely taking over?
I think... But we already got that more or less, don't we? Because if you don't interact with the chunk now, it doesn't save the chunk.
Yes, absolutely. So, but I was sort of ignoring what Mr. Balrog had said there, really. But I was just more thinking, do you think that's how it will work? Or is it going to be a cylinder rather than a sphere around the player?
No, I think it's going to stay like it is. That's an interesting one because you take simulation distance. If you take like a Sim 6 world, okay, mob spawning is no longer in a perfect sphere around you. It becomes this like oblong, like sphere, wannabe circle, rectangle, because they will stop it hard at the fifth chunk going out, but it will still do the 128 up and below you. So I don't know.
Yeah, in terms of the chunks, avoid chunks, committing chunks entirely, Mr. Balrog. The chunks are only saved now in Minecraft since 1.18.31, which is what caused a lot of the problems when a player actually goes into one. You've got to physically be in a chunk to save it. So, but yeah, if you are physically above a chunk, because technically you're in a sub chunk if you're above it, right? Because unless you're high enough above world limit, is that chunk going to get written? It's too complicated. I don't know.
I don't know on that one. That's getting into the hard code of it.
Yeah. Right. Moving on from that. Oh, geez, these podcasts are getting long. We didn't even have any news, really. This is that's the end of the wish list. If you would like to leave good ideas for the wish list, then please do in the new MC Ideas channel of the Discord. The link to the Discord can be found in the description below, or on the video that you're watching, or on the website, or on the Discord, which is weird because why would you put the link to the Discord you're already in? Don't know, but people do. Right, moving on to the questions. Jeez, we're getting through it, guys. When we've got a bunch of questions.
Wait, we got a bunch of questions? Does that mean bathroom break?
There's not loads, but I'm run out of water, so it might be a good idea. Otherwise, we're going to end up cutting short. But then we're already getting on for 2 hours, so we should probably whip through this anyway.
Okay. All right, let's whip through this then.
Okay,
Woo,
Better Block says, do you think updates are ruining the game? Bear with me here. I love the new content we get, especially now after 10 years of playing. It has evolved so much, but the buzz of a new update quickly wears off within a couple of weeks. YouTube, Reddit, podcasts, etc. are all talking about what's next. Do you feel as though this can sometimes take the shine off of some of the gameplay? People starting over and over again just to get the new content. I feel long-term worlds are becoming harder to maintain. I have been in my world for nearly 5 years now, and even I am starting to feel like I'm missing out by not generating a new one, which I shouldn't. I totally agree. Yeah, I think updates technically are not ruining the game. They're making the game better. But the fact that we know about them for so long before we get them is ruining the game, because you are waiting for the update, and then when the update comes out, they announce the next one, and you're waiting again. So it feels like you're always waiting for an update, and you're never settled in your world. I want them to go back to annual updates, and I don't want them to tell us anything that's going to be in it until about 3 months before they release it. So I've got a good 9 to 10 months of just playing in my world without worrying about what's coming, without worrying about loading chunks. I can just enjoy it.
Now, when did we first hear about the Warden update?
Oh, don't go back to that. No.
My question is, was it like, okay, was that like no, really? That was like season 1 of TB, wasn't it?
It was
No.
either
Season 0.
Minecon 2019 or Minecon 2020. I think it was not
It
2019.
was season 2 that we heard about it.
Okay. Now, what if we hadn't made a world till that came out? What if we'd stayed? No.
Oh man, season 2 all the way. That would have been rough. That would have been hard.
Yeah, there would have been no season 3. No.
Well, as it turned out, we did season 3 because we knew an update was coming out imminently, so we only did a short one.
Yeah, and we didn't even do vanilla on that one with the world generation. I love season 3 world. I miss that.
Jessiie, what do you think? Do you think the updates are ruining Minecraft?
I think it's such a, like, I don't even want to call it a double-edged sword, right? I think that all of the updates have added a lot to the game. I enjoy the updates. I enjoy new content, but I absolutely get what they mean by it makes it really difficult to stay in a long-term world, right? Like some of the content creators that I really enjoy the most have had the same world for like 10 years now. And it's amazing. And every update they have to prune, they have to do all this stuff. And it's a lot of work, right? Like it's a hard thing. And I do kind of miss when it was a little bit easier, when not everything was like so completely game breaking. Like one update is like, whoa. However, I don't think that the updates even now are ruining it. I do agree with Foxy in that I think what ruins it is that we hear about it in so much detail way too early. And or we hear about ideas, right? We hear about, speculation or this could be coming. And then everyone's speculating for 2 years at this point, or a year or 6 months, and they're not enjoying the world that they're in. So would I say that updates ruin current games that we are playing? Absolutely. That's where I think I am on the same wavelength. I think it's really hard to enjoy the game I am in when I know something else is coming right around the corner.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. It's a shame, but I just think it's just the way it is, isn't it? And because everybody's a content creator these days, and I mean that in a, like, there's so many, isn't there? Like everybody on Twitter's a journalist now, you know. and I don't mean that in a nasty way, but every as soon as there's news, everybody shares it. Everybody shares it. You cannot avoid it. I really want to go and see the new Thor film. It came out today, and I went to open up an app, and it's like, the end credit scene for the, and I'm like, no, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Stop.
Yeah, I had a fight to not see any info about the Doctor Strange movie before I watched it. You know, it's like I don't want to know.
Yeah, and that's fair enough if you like. If it's a couple of weeks or a month later, you're like, I'm late getting to the cinema. Fair enough, but not on the same day, not in the same week. Give people a chance, and it's not the same with spoilers with games. But as soon as there's any news, regardless of where it's from, regardless of the source, regardless of how genuine it is, it's all over. It's in your face. It's everywhere. Some of it's speculation. Some of it's made up. Some of it's a link to a Reddit post that someone's done. Something's from a developer. Something's from that. But there's so much of it. It's constant. And yeah, it's just like, no, don't Mojang, don't tell us anything until 3 months before it comes out. And don't do them every 6 months. And stop doing world gen changes. And maybe do a world gen update every 3 years. You know, stop doing them every 6 months because it just ruins the world. Please.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
Yeah.
I would say don't tell us until like you're ready to submit it for certification.
Well, I think a little bit of hype is good. You know, like just like films do. You get a trailer, 3 or 4 months generally. You get a teaser sometimes, but you get the closer it gets, the more hype there is. The problem with the great thing about Mojang and the problem with Mojang is because they're so open and they're sharing all that stuff, it's not a teaser. We know everything from day one, pretty much, apart from a few little things that get thrown in. Just maybe give us a sniff, but don't tell us it all until...
keep the unsniffable potion going, just until you get ready to give us a sniff.
Yeah, okay. Right, moving on.
So Zeta says, Dear Peeps, Zoy of Truly Bedrock Group has made several videos detailing his theories of the lore of Minecraft. Have you watched any of them? And if so, which is your favorite? And then they've also said, if you haven't watched his video, what lore theory in Minecraft have you heard that is your personal favorite? Not game theory.
Yeah, but please not game theory. When Game Theory did the Minecraft theories, I used to really enjoy watching it, and then I just realized how absolutely full of they were.
Yeah,
wrong button.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be that button.
I have no idea what you're all talking about.
Have you not heard of Game Theory?
No.
They've got like 4 channels now. They do food theory, movie theory. Basically, they create videos which are sensationalist videos on games that they appear to have deep dived into it and know loads of information. And that's what you think when you watch it. It's, oh yeah, these guys really know this game inside out. And they did a couple of Minecraft ones, and it was they just made everything up. It's total crap.
Yep.
Total crap. So I was like, no, I'm not watching you guys anymore. And then the Matt Pat, who I used to like, I used to think, oh, he's a really nice presenter, he's decent. He just did a string of videos where he was just pretending to cry to camera. Like, get my views, get my views. Oh, stop it. Go away. I don't want to see it. So yeah, that put me off them. So yeah, definitely not game theory. I don't know where else I would get lore from, and I can't remember. I have watched Loy's videos, but my memory's useless. What lore has Loy come up with?
You're asking the wrong person here. I
also don't. If I have seen any, I cannot tell you what they were. Do not remember. Do not know. And I can't think of another Minecraft lore theory that I've ever heard. So
I can think of one that's, I guess, not theory, but it's actually fact. The creeper was an accident from the pig. Does that count?
No, because it's not theory.
Okay. Then I don't have nothing. No.
Okay, well, it seems that we don't have anything. I will give you a piece of private information that's personal, private, and personal, okay, to me and Zloy. And that is, do you know that me and Zloy both disagree and haven't necessarily argued, but, choose to ignore each other on how we believe that truly bedrock lore is pertaining the moon and the worlds? So in my lore, the lore that I created around my videos and things, and what I believe to be the case, is that we have a singular moon, and each of the truly bedrock seasons is a different planet that goes around that moon. Okay?
Yep.
Zloy says they're all the same planet. Rubbish. How would the coordinates be the same? Doesn't make sense.
Why'd you say that to me? Because now I can't think of it in no other way than what you just said.
That's how it works. They're all different planets.
Canonically, right? Like, at least from my coming in, it was presented to me as the same world, right?
Yeah.
And actually, when it was presented to me, it was season 1 was my world that you guys entered. So thinking that now, though, if that's the case, then, oh man, you just totally messed with my brain. Everything is spinning. Everything is spinning. I'm not sure anymore.
Are you Team Foxy or Team Zloy?
Foxy, because to me, if you guys entered my world, that would mean we had different worlds.
Yeah.
So it would mean that it was like the same moon, different worlds, or like same sun, same whatever, different places, and you guys entered mine. So that would mean that they were different.
Yeah. The only time in TB history where we've gone with Zloy's was between season 1 and season 2, where we got blasted into the Nether and we made our way through the Nether and came out. But in my theory, again, going from season 0 to season 1, we have in my videos, although everyone sailed off to find season 1, me and Slack went back and we discussed the fact that actually everyone may have sailed off, but they all sailed to a portal and went through a portal to the new world. So
yep, because that's how we went through. Yeah.
Exactly. So again, my theory is that portals to the Nether is not a Nether that's one world's Nether. The Nether links the worlds together. So it's not necessarily the same Nether, but the portals are interchangeable between worlds effectively, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Well, that's kind of where my little bit of story goes for the animations that I've gotten from Puka that most people can't see. Is that like when I woke up from, what was it, season
3?
Yeah, when I woke up in season 3, I was on a ship, but there was tons of different pods, and each of those pods leads to a different world. Like my main character is not here. This is just a projection of my character that's on this world. And
that's cool.
Each pod,
That is cool.
each pod on that spaceship is literally I kind of been the idea when hermitcraft kind of did the same thing, because I got with Puka and I was like, hey, let's do this is what we're doing, we made the animations and stuff like that, and then that's kind of where hermitcraft went with it that season, and it was like, really? But that just proves that multiple people can come up with the same idea.
Yeah.
But on the ship, if you go back and see any of the animations that were made, like when I wake up and I start walking through the ship, there's different pods with different slacks in them, or where different slacks can go into, and that leads to the different worlds. I was going to make a hub video where, like, when I'm streaming, like if I switch from TB to, let's say, Let's Play Bedrock, there would be a video of my character coming out of the pod, walking over to the other pod, and inserting himself into the pod. And then when the game come back up, I would be in Let's Play Bedrock.
That's very similar to back in the good old days when I started my channel. I had my hub world, or what do I call it? I can't remember the name of it now, but it was basically I never went very far with it, but the idea was there was loads of nether portals all around this like world that I'd made in creative, and each time I went through one of those, one of them took me to a survival world, one of them took me to a redstone testing lab, one of them took me to a minigame server and stuff like that. So yeah, I think those sorts of ideas, they're great ideas. I think they've been around a while, but we've all got different takes on them, so it's great.
Yeah. But yeah, for the moon, yeah, the only thing I was going to say with that, with you arguing that it's different planets, doesn't the moon need to be at different sizes then? Because, or else all the planets are on the same plane.
No, they're in the middle. The planets go round the moon. I don't know that far, but you can see the planets from the moon.
Okay, I like this. I'm sold. Yes, I'm Team Foxy on this one. Sorry, Zloy, but I'm 100% Team Foxy.
Before we move on, just to blow your minds a bit more, it's not really blowing your minds, but all of your stuff on season 3, none of you actually did anything. None of you recorded any videos. Everything was inside of all of the different Foxy clones that were imagining it and running through those simulations. So you guys just went from season 2 to season 4.
Well, and my story stuff, I was never there anyway. I was on the ship.
Yeah. So there you go. There's all the lore you can eat, Zeta. You're welcome.
Oh, they're probably like, why'd you just do this to me? Why'd you just do this to me?
I want to know. Let me know in the comments, the feedback, wherever. Are you Team Foxy or Team Zloy when it comes to the TB theory of whether or not the planet, we've got multiple planets, one moon, or if we are all on the same planet? Let me know what you think. Anyway, moving on. Slack. Jessiie? No, Slack.
Yeah, Slack.
Yeah.
Slack. Okay, so from Cucumbers. So is Jessiie a host now or just a permanent guest?
When you get the next one, then you realize how little sense that one made.
Okay, so I'll read the next one.
From the same person.
Are you guys going to have guests? I know you said you would, but so far there haven't been any.
Hang on a minute. Those two questions totally contradict each other. If Jessie's a permanent guest, how have we not had any guests? Now, Jessie's a host. Jessie's been a host from the second podcast that she did with us. So, you know.
Yeah, when I ended up in the hospital with, was it when I ended up in the hospital that Jessieie
No,
came
you
on?
just fell out with us and blamed on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The mythical. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
well, you probably can't say that word in the video. Just saying. I have to
We'll bleep
that
it.
out.
When you came down with beep.
Yeah, when I came down with blah, yeah.
What word am I not allowed to say?
The C word. Yeah.
Really? You're not allowed to say it? Why not?
No, because like YouTube will tag your videos a certain way and everything like that.
Yeah.
What? Because
It
it's saying
suppresses
Yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they'll
Why?
suppress it if you say.
They will. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
but
there's
yeah.
a few beeps.
Yep.
Okay, I'll put them in place later.
Okay.
What? Why?
I don't make the rules. I've just heard a lot of people complain about
Yeah.
it. Maybe this is lore. I don't know, but I've heard
It's
a
so
lot
dumb.
of
I
people.
mean, it's a world event. It's just life. It's like, oh, you can't talk about flu anymore. No, flu's banned. No.
I think at first
You got a
it
headache?
was just
No,
because
headache's
there was
banned.
so much
Because so many people,
misinformation.
because
Yeah.
misinformation.
And then
Yeah,
they
that's
just
right.
kind of didn't do anything with it. So it's still
That's it. It's just
not
left the
great.
filter on.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Okay, moving on from talking about Right, JJ says, "Hi gang, with the recent updates, has Mojang raised community expectations too high for future updates? Would anyone behind the pod desk be satisfied with just a combat update? I feel like the recent updates have created an expectation that updates from here on out will be big, e.g. a new dimension, though it's definitely not a portal frame in Ancient Cities. Oh, it's definitely not a portal frame in Ancient Cities. Thanks for the quality content."
Yes, please. Combat update. Sweeping edge. Please, bruh.
Personally, I would love for them to go back to little updates. I think it's necessary. I would love a break from big, massive world gen changing updates. I know that sounds crazy coming from queen of the let's have an end update camp, but I really want a calm one. Oh yeah, and a magic update. But
Would a magic update be a big or a small one?
I think small, because I don't think it needs to, well, I don't know about small, but like it wouldn't need to affect world gen, right?
Okay.
Like it's not a new big thing.
that-
So I think that's fine.
Is
Yeah.
that what makes it a big update when they start messing with world gen?
Yeah, or they're
Yeah,
just adding
new
in like
dimensions,
millions
yeah.
of new blocks, or they've got, or they're changing structures, or they're changing where things generate, or they're going, oh, well, let's rearrange the biomes again and mess about with all the seeds. I think,
Ocean update, food update, magic update. Yep.
yeah, or nice, easy combat updates, something that's not going to mess with the world. I agree,
Inventory.
Jesse. Smaller updates would be great, but you got to remember, we are not the target audience, and the target audience
yeah.
is the younger kids that just want. Every day is Christmas, and you cannot justify to somebody like that they should just have something small. So yeah, Minecraft really setting big precedents that they got to keep getting bigger. Kind of like what we talked about right at the beginning of the podcast with content creators. Keep setting the bar higher and higher and higher, and you get burnt out. Is that going to be the end of Minecraft? Are they just going to not be able to continue?
Well, this is the Samsung 10. It looks just like the 9. Not interested in this. Sorry.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would like less regular and not quite so devastating updates. Yes, please. Just maybe make it like every 3 years or every 4 years or something. Do a big one like the Olympics. You don't get bored of the Olympics, do you?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. You
you're
got
asking
Summer
the wrong
Olympics,
person
Winter
here.
I don't like the
Yeah.
Olympics, but I'm just saying it's not like in your face all the time, is it?
That's true. Okay, so Woden says, "Hey, just fun one, but please do not include if you think it isn't suitable. I would love to hear Slack and Jesse do an impression of Mr. Onion, all in good fun. Thank you all for making me laugh whilst getting to work." Oh,
I
Woden.
did consider whether this was acceptable, but then I realised Mr. Onion is just a character. If you did an impression of him, that's not an impression of somebody or somebody from a place. You can't offend Mr. Onion. So go for it.
What did you say about
me? Nothing.
What are you talking about? No.
Who is that defending me with that stupid voice?
Why don't you just shut up and go back and play your fork knife?
Oh my God.
I can't
Go with the chicken.
accent.
What stupid accent? I don't know what you're
Oh my
talking
God.
about.
Jesse, your
Yeah.
turn.
Not happening. Could not pay me. Thank you, though.
Okay.
I got plenty of stickers.
No, I'm not dealing with you and the stickers no more. Me and you got issues over stickers.
Go on, Jessie, just one bite.
No.
It won't hurt you.
No.
Well, come on, bring out the big
Go
chicken then.
on.
No.
Wow. What, you don't like a chicken?
Moving on.
No.
You can go back now, Mr. Onion. You can go back to what? Hey?
Go play fork knife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize you could make that gesture with just like lock hands. Wow.
Oh, goodness.
So wash your hands. Right. What's
What
Aiden
did he
got
say
to
to me?
Jessie's gone.
I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm here. It's
I
fine.
think Crispy's cutting out your laughing. He's just gone silent.
I was laughing. I was dying, actually, but it's okay.
You know, why was there no Mr. Barbecue in all that? I don't know.
He's on vacation. He's floating through space at the minute. I haven't seen him for a while.
Looking for work?
Probably.
We were so tired that day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, all right, sorry.
It's you, Slack.
Is it me?
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
it's Jesse.
No,
Was it?
you're Aiden.
You're Aiden.
I did Woden.
I'm
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm Aiden. Okay. Oh, God, I thought we were further down. Okay. Hi again, FJS. My question is, which one of the podcasts you had so far? What?
Which one?
Which
Which
one
is
of
our
the-
favourite podcast we've done so far, and which one's our least favourite? I have no idea. It was the one I liked the best, and then the one I liked the least.
So, yeah.
The one I liked the least was the one where Slack was in the hospital, and I spent the whole time like super worried because we hadn't heard anything yet. So that one I didn't enjoy that one. The one that I liked the most was all of them. All of them. I've liked them all. Besides the other one.
Wow.
Go make me cry.
Yeah. They're all the best apart from the worst one. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Jonas Craft says, hello, Foxy Slack, Jessie or Jessie. What? This is it. He said that last time.
I wonder if they've never seen me around Discord, so they aren't sure if I spell it Jessie with an E or Jessie with an IE.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just like a
I know
listener.
some people that spell it with
Maybe
a Y.
they think
Okay,
there's two
where's
Jessies on the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
No idea.
Like 1 week you're one Jessie and the next week you're the next Jessie. Who knows?
Could be. That could be it.
I think I'm speaking for everyone when I say what happened to a live podcast. If you could do like a stage on Discord, like you said previously, that would be cool. Yeah, Jonas, I absolutely do want to do a live podcast. I was even going to suggest it this week, but then with all of the news, I didn't think us doing a live podcast would have been very good because it's very difficult for us to be sensitive, especially if we're being live. So I think that the big 3-0, we're on episode 28 at the minute. I think episode 30 would be a nice round number for us to do a live one. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
this week, if somebody had been listening and they went, because we would be watching chat regardless, even with our conversation, if somebody said something inappropriate, been like, excuse me, let's talk about this. And yeah, it wouldn't have been the time or place. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, plus it's always nice to have like a milestone. And if it is a milestone one, I want to advertise it. I want to be like, hey, episode 30, I will tell at least my Discord. I don't care. I'll tell Twitter. I don't have a huge following. Just be like, hey, come to the Discord, hang out with us, and we'll record our live podcast. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you 3 people who watch my tweets. Yeah. Come
Yeah,
on,
exactly. Exactly. I'm like, you know what? I know I don't have many of you, but the few I have, come join us.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see when our first episode went out on YouTube. And it doesn't show you the date on YouTube anymore, does it? It just says 6 months ago. I was going to say, we've been doing the podcast for over half a year now,
Well,
which is...
You could
Pretty cool.
check the actual video analytics. It should tell you the date published.
I probably got it on the file somewhere. If I've ever got the original one. No, I haven't. So, no, it doesn't matter. But it's been more than 6 months now. So, yeah, I just wanted to see.
Sophia says, "Hi, FJS. I'm Sophia, a friend of Aiden's. Of all the structures you've made so far, which one is your favorite and why? And what inspired you to build it?"
Do they have to be survival builds?
I would say yes. So I'm really torn. I'm really torn here because my favorite build that I can think of, like right off the top of my head, is the Evil Jessiie Tower last season. I don't know what came over me. I just built and I just kind of went nonstop and just got it done. And when it was done, I looked at it and it wasn't a style I ever built in. It wasn't something that you could look at and be like, yeah, that's Jessiie. But I was so proud of it. Like I looked at it and was like, this is great. Like this, I'm super proud of. I think I was just inspired by the idea of Evil Jessiie, and I just kind of went from there. But I say I'm torn because on the opposite end, the build that I look at the most is actually my season 2 of Don't Die. You were on that one, Foxy, where my house was on the other side from you. That one is my favorite for the opposite reason. You look at that and you're like, that's Jessiie. Like you just look at that and you're like, yep, that one, she did that. And it just screamed me. And rebuilding it on TB this season, off of just memory, by the way, and one screenshot that I had, I was like in love with it. Like yeah, I have 2 for those reasons. One that is just completely me and one that was completely not me. So yeah, that's my answer.
Cool. Slack.
Netherrack Mountain. It
Wow,
was
yeah.
so impromptu.
Oh, it was beautiful.
The only reason that happened was because we were playing on the world where I was on a mushroom island and I could do play on lighting. And every time it became night, somebody slept and it just burned me up. And it wasn't planned as a Netherrack Mountain. Originally, it was just going to be I was going to build just a normal everyday run-of-the-mill mountain around it. But I had more Netherrack, and Netherrack was easier to mine because I was also after ancient debris at that time. And I just had tons of Netherrack, just tons. And I no plan at all with that. And I just fell in love with that build. I fell in love with that build. And like, I just want to constantly, I sometimes just load back up that world and be like, man, I didn't finish this. I didn't finish that. I wanted to do this. I wanted to change that up. I loved it. Just as, yeah, all the other builds I've done forever. And I've done a lot of builds, even before TB. No, that one's just my favorite.
Oh, man.
It was so good. It was so good. But it also, like, I have this weird feeling of like guilt. I am 99% sure I was the constant sleeper.
No, it's Tiz.
No,
was
you
it?
and Lee. No, it was her and Lee.
Oh, really?
I was playing at night.
It
Yep,
was
yep.
it was me all the time, to the point that Slack at one point like wrote in chat, he was like, "You're on a mushroom island."
Yeah,
And I was like, I was like, oh,
literally, I pointed out to you. I was
Yeah.
like, you do know you're on a mushroom island,
yeah,
right?
like he made it abundantly clear that I was annoying the crud out of him, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And every time I would try, I would be like, I'm not gonna sleep unless I have to sleep, and then I would forget and sleep, and then he would literally log off, and I'd be like, oh man, I was like, I'm a jerk. But
I've seen Foxy log in the past
Yeah.
and be like,
Yep.
don't sleep. And somebody logs in and sleeps, and he's just like, "Meh," and
Oh,
leaves.
Tiz does it to me every single time. I'm pretty sure he does it on purpose at this
Yeah.
point. Like, don't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's an accident. I slipped.
I will say though, if that Netherrack Mountain is the product of me being a jerk, I'll take it, because it was so beautiful. The inside is my favorite thing that has ever been made on TB so far. So I'll be that jerk. I'm okay with it, because that was beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Okay. Just to cut away from my most favorite build of all time, Jessiie just pointed out December the 10th was the first YouTube episode, and I've just calculated that on Sunday it will actually be 7 months that we've been doing the podcast for. So there we go. Amazing.
It's amazing.
It is.
Yes.
The structures I'm most proud of are probably all in creative mode. Like the stuff I built for my Star Wars set when I did that. I always go
That's
back
beautiful.
It was
See that
amazing.
person.
I spent ages doing all those things, and I can't say I've ever put that much time or effort in survival into things of a similar. I don't know. I guess I know. The thing, I feel tainted about the castle that I built on season 2. I really liked the one I built right at the end of the season. I really liked it. I felt it was probably one of the most detailed and interesting builds I'd have ever done in survival, but there was just this negativity around it from a lot of comments, a lot of, oh, you're copying green, a lot of this, that, and the other. And I was like, how am I copying? I don't grow much green. How am I supposed to be copying him? And so it kind of taints it for being my favorite, really. So what do you guys think of all the things you've seen me build that you would say, oh, that was all right?
That castle was amazing. Like, what? Why would anyone give you cred for that? It was a medieval style castle that everybody and their mother has seen, a medieval style castle, right? But you added like such nice details. I loved your color palette. Honestly, I was so impressed. And I told you that all the time. I really liked that castle. And I know like you were all negative about it because I made the one comment that I didn't like the wood choices you went with on your one house. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm never telling you anything negative again. And
I
but
remember
genuinely,
he was on stream like pouting about that.
Oh my gosh. Forever. He did not drop it until
No,
season 3.
I carried
Like,
that on the whole season.
Yeah. I was like, the first thing out of my mouth was, I really like it. It's a little bit too of the same color wood. That was all.
No, you said it was too like old school because it was oak and cobblestone. He was like, it's very
the same
plain,
color.
and I'm like,
And this season we got
Okay.
a dirt area. It's great.
no,
I
I think
that's one of my favorite things.
I know you didn't intend to be insulting under any, at all, and I know you're not that sort of person. I think that's just one of those situations, like when you look up to somebody else for being good at something and you're proud of what you've done. Maybe you're a kid and you've just drawn a picture of your parents and you hand it to them and they take one look at it and go, "No, you've gone outside the lines." And you're just devastated, aren't you? And that was my reaction because Jesse and Killer Drone was with you at the time as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he hit on it hard too. Yeah.
And
That doesn't feel good.
And I know you didn't mean it in a bad way at all. You were just like, you giving me genuinely good critique. But I was so happy. I think it was the first time I'd ever attempted something like that in survival. And I was just like, Mum, my crayon snapped.
Literally, hearts just shattering. I feel so bad.
Don't feel bad. It's fine. It's just one of those situations. We've all been in them, right? We all,
Yeah,
I had
definitely.
comments in my streams and on my videos about when I was doing another Netherrack Mountain about the trees. They're like, "You need to get Jesse and come over there and build trees." I'm like, "Really? I'm chopped liver. My trees are that bad,
Yeah.
Your trees were better than any tree that I have done my entirety of TV.
No, see,
so
I would argue
whoever
just the
said
opposite.
that, no,
I would argue
no.
just the opposite.
No.
I would.
No.
Your trees are amazing. I would put yours on a 1 to 10 scale of just with custom trees. A good
no.
8 or 9. I would. I'm not going to say, oh my God, they're the best thing ever. I would say they're a good 8 or 9. And I would scale my own at a 5 or a 6.
Oh,
But
see,
like
no.
I was getting comments from people. They're like, "You should just have Jesse come over there and build your trees." And I was just like, "Ouch."
But that's not one of those things where they're saying yours are bad. They're just like, they're acknowledging Jesse's good, right? That's just like,
So
hey.
that is one of those things that I'm going to say, like, as we're talking to viewers right now, right? I'm going to single in. I have been in people's streams where people are trying new things, right? They're trying to terraform. They're trying
Pushing
to
out
tree.
their comfort.
And somebody immediately goes, "Oh, why don't you just have Jesse come over there and help you?" And I get so like angry, like actually angry. I usually have to leave the stream, like just so I can like step away because I don't want to be rude and I don't want to distract from the streamer. And usually they're like, "Oh, she's, oh no, I'm just going to try myself, whatever, what have you." And I am just like, that is so rude. And I know people are trying to be kind and people are trying to be like, "Oh, Jesse's good at this, like she can help you, she wouldn't mind." That is so disheartening. Like as a creator, like I have had people be like, "Oh, that maybe you watch too much B-dubs," or, "Oh, you're copying whoever, you're doing this, you're doing that." And it is like a gut punch. And I never want people to use my name to make somebody else feel bad, even unintentionally, right? Like that's just not okay. And the one thing I have said since I have started terraforming, since I have started tree making is I genuinely love to see people just trying. Like it's amazing to see somebody go out of their way, out of their comfort zone and try something that they're not used to. So anytime I just see that in comments, I get actually really bothered, and it makes me feel so bad because I don't want people, one, to be like, okay, well now I'm not interacting with Jessiie because people just think that, you know, she does this or whatever. And I'm just like, ugh, I swear I love what you're doing. You keep going, you keep trying, and I'm just going to support you. I'll be your cheerleader. It's totally fine.
Speaking of
Foxy on the bad wood choices. Sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of the Don't Die server, the that first one I was on, I tried to go out of my comfort zone on that landscaping that I did. It's the first time I'd really taken on anything like that, but mainly because I didn't have any resources to do any building. And I sort of continued that. I was quite happy with that. It looked really nice, that little like hedgerow in the field. It was only small. I was really happy with that. And I sort of tried to continue that sort of this season on Truly Bedrock, which hasn't gone quite the way I liked, but I'm really enjoying what I've done with that. But I wouldn't say it's a structure that I'm particularly proud of. So I don't know. I think I don't know.
I when I think Foxy though, and I don't mean this in a bad way, first thing I think of is smooth stone. Because I've watched so many of your videos before, TB. Like I'm always taken back when I think Foxy. I'm always taken back to your giant underground area on your patron server. That massive area. That's where I go first time. When you say the name Foxy and I think of content, that's where I go.
Can I include that entire thing as a structure? Because that was immense.
Yeah, that's a mega structure. Yeah. Mega base. Yeah.
That was amazing. I actually ended up obviously getting the patrons to help me finish it off because we got towards the end and I had some spaces left. And I loved that. That was great. Just the great thing about that was, apart from the fact that I had to dig out this huge area underground, it was being able to take... Because I basically just split all the walls into rows of chunks, almost like a shopping mall. And I approached each chunk as its own separate like farm. But I tried to make them look nice on the outside as well and keep them nice on the inside. So it was really nice going to, like, I'm going to focus on this chunk today and it's going to be this farm. And I enjoyed that because it was a long process, but I think it ended up looking, it's not a fantastic build, but a lot of effort went into the whole thing, and I was quite proud of it, I guess.
I love that, and I loved your terraforming on season 2, on near the witch hut over there when you were based near me with the fields and everything like that. And the farm, the airplane field.
That
was very
really
cartoon look to that, wasn't there? It was very shaded and flat.
I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I just say it wasn't what you would consider by the bar set by most terraformers as great terraforming.
What bar? Like, I've been arguing with myself about that here recently. I love doing trees. I may not be good at them, but I love them. I've done them on Slackville. I've done them on TB. It's just the thing that I love to do. So, like, when we started this hardcore server, I'm like, I'm not going to do nothing trees. I'm not going to do nothing trees. I'm not going to do nothing trees. And then the other day I was like, no, this is what I like to do. And if people don't want to watch it, then they don't have to watch it. And then I did the whole rooted thing, and I'm in love with it. I don't know. I love this kind of build, though.
Do what you enjoy. If you do what you enjoy, then people enjoy watching. And I enjoy building everything out of squares that look like smooth stone. Okay? Oh, jeez.
I remember the lag fest in the video where you were showing the Patreon reveal of the giant pigment.
Oh, man. Jeez. Jeez. Right, Slack, come on. Last questions. Let's get out of here.
Is it time to go already? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Big Low 9 over here. Big Low 9 here says, do chest minecarts not break apart anymore?
Very quick answer. No, they don't.
And Hakuzo, I hope I'm saying that right. Question for Foxy. Does the YouTube commenter that lives in your head
actually FoxyNoTail that
have a name? That one. I think he lives in all of our heads.
I don't know. I've never thought of him having a name. He's the voice and the attitude came from Oliver's got since he was little he's had this monkey and it's called Monkey, obviously, because we're good at coming up with names. Big Chicken. And Monkey he's got attitude problems. He's very naughty. He's just a trouble causer, and he's always questioning everything. And obviously a bit big for him now. He still sleeps with him in his room, but we don't do a great deal with him. But he went with us everywhere. He went with us to Disney World. He was always there, and he was always talking. So I spent a lot of years just doing that voice and being cheeky with it. So that's where the commenter comes from. So I guess if the commenter's got a name, it's probably Monkey. So yeah. Jessiie, you've been very quiet for a while. Are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm just listening.
So, yeah.
See if you do it this way.
Really? Yeah. See, I will say, since I'm in your streams a lot and stuff, that's something that now is like stuck in my head. Like every time it's like, that's the only way actually is ever said, like in my brain now. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that again, going back to my kids, that's Jack. Jack was, when he was little, he was so different to Oliver, but they were both amazing. But Jack was very much everything you did. Actually, Dad. Actually. All the time. He's always known best. And,
I love that.
So, yeah. Actually, I think
have either of you all, has it like been a permanent thing? Like you just talked about, Jessiie, how actually, as you know, you always hear it that way. When I'm fed up with somebody, I hear, I'm so done with you in Jessie's voice now. I do. I legitimately do. Like,
oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
I hear but Bruno all the time.
But Bruno, yep.
Bruno.
Yep.
Still alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, still alive. Yeah, that's the only way that ever is. Yeah, TB is definitely permeated my brain. Like, you're all in there at this point. I'll be doing random things. I'll be around like my family and I'll say something and they just kind of look at me and I'm like, never mind.
Seriously. But why?
Seriously?
Why?
Like, oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Right,
that seems too
peeps.
simple. Just saying.
On that note, it is. That's the end of the questions. Sadly, if you would like to ask us a question, then please do by emailing news@theminecraftupdate.com. Put question in your subject line, or fill out the feedback form which you can find on the website, or chuck one in the relevant section on the Discord. Sadly, though, that's the end of today's podcast. All we got left to do is tell you what we're going to be doing this week, and then doing the off. Jessiie, what are you going to be doing this week?
I'm making loads of YouTube videos. I'm really excited about recording some Truly Bedrock.
Yeah, definitely that. I'm going to try my very, very best to get an episode done for Monday. Other than that, you're probably going to be seeing me stream all next week. I'm streaming.
Just
I'm
constantly,
streaming until I'm
24 hours a day.
I got a webcam. I've got to use it, haven't I?
That won't be here for like another 2 weeks. They still have to ship it.
Oh man, where they buying it from? The moon?
Amazon.
2-week delivery. I had anything delivered in 2 weeks since it was about the 1980s. Everything comes tomorrow.
The process is they have to process the funds from the person
man.
that has to go through. So yeah,
man.
it takes about like a week actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh, no.
No, you just totally sold Foxy on not being interested in the.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I'm
good.
waiting for anything kills you. I've got no
It's so
patience.
good.
Foxy, I decided to be nice and gift you something today on stream. You'll get it in 7.5 months.
I ordered a bunch of stuff at 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and I'm like, why can't I have it tomorrow?
That's something I'm still getting used to with Jen. Like, it just, the UK, she's like, I'm going to order this. Okay, well, let me know. Oh, it'll be here later today. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, well, I went on this morning. It was like, do you want this afternoon? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Why would I not?
Wow. I don't ever get anything that quick.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit of living on a tiny island. Right, okay. This week I am going to probably be working on some more of that storyline video, so expect to not see anything for a while. I'll certainly be doing some more streams as well. What about you, Slack? You got anything good going on?
Just the hardcore series. I can't let it go. I can't. That's what I'll be probably streaming on and recording on.
Okay, don't
just
die.
absolutely love it. That's the plan, and I will continue my streams at normal scheduled time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on all days except for Wednesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays I stream on my second channel.
Amazing. Are you streaming a second channel? That's cool.
Yep, other non-Minecraft content. I tried to put non-Minecraft content on the main channel, and financially, it was fine. Financially, it was fine, but viewer-wise, it just nope. So main channel stays Minecraft.
Cool. Good. Right. Well, on that note, peeps, I'm going to say the same thing I say at the end of every podcast, which is, don't forget to brush your teeth, because otherwise your mouth will smell.
Brush your teeth alone causes more cavities. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Is that, am I getting there? Am I even getting close?
No,
Hasta
I don't think
mañana.
that's quite it.
I thought it was
Not
hasta
quite.
mañana.
It's close, getting closer.
All right, working on it. Jeez. All right. Well,
Oh goodness.
should we go? Should we do the off?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.